Hey, Timmy.
Hi, mate.
How are you, buddy?
I'm good. Thanks for coming.
That's all right. Now, where's our patient?
I've called Chris to the reptile park today because one of our star koalas, Jack, he's 2 years old, has bumps all over his nose. We've never seen anything like it before, and it's important that Chris has a look and tells us what it is. That's the way.
There we go. Jeez, it's quite dramatic.
Have you ever seen it before?
Not like this. No, I mean, I've seen a similar sort of thing on other animals, but never on a koala, and never that dramatic. Now I can finally have a look at Jack. The reality of his problem is quite breathtaking.
Lips, eye, nose.
It's like he's got these volcanoes that have just erupted.
Yep. The thing for us is it life-threatening and is it contagious? And that's what we need to know.
How many koalas have you got here?
20?
Yeah.
Yep, and he's the only one with it now, and that's how we need to keep it. If Jack's condition is contagious, it could be devastating to a koala population. He's been housed with other koalas, and it could already have spread.
It's not like they're scabs. I mean, they don't just come off if you grab hold of them. They're actually firmly attached, and they almost look like they're coming from deeper within.
Yeah.
There's a couple of interesting things about this. I mean, the timing, for me, the fact that he's just coming into sexual maturity.
Yeah.
Maybe it could be related to that change in hormones that he's currently experiencing. The fact is, right now, everything's on the table in terms of what could be causing these lumps. They could be bacterial infections, and over time they become fibrosed. Worst case scenario, it could be tumours. They've taken hold of all these parts of his body and are now starting to show their signs. The only way we're going to know is by taking a biopsy.
Yep.
We need to actually take a sample of those cells, look at them under the microscope, and work out exactly what's happening.
Okay.
Koalas are already a threatened species. Their numbers are in massive decline simply because of bushfires, habitat destruction, and even chlamydia. Now, to potentially have another issue they're facing with what Jack has, it's not a good thing. Come on, let's go. There we go. All right.
Good girl. Oh, you poor old sausage.
Bedraggled little pup Apple has been brought into the Bondi Referral Hospital sash by Denise from the animal rescue group Paws.
Good girl, Apple. She's been in the pound for 2 weeks and nobody came forward for her, so we rescued her. She's not doing too well. She's got a very nasty head shake.
Oh, sausage. It's stinky.
When Denise picked up the little stray, she was shocked by her dreadful condition.
Her ear is all matted together. I can feel under her tummy. She has burrs in her tummy. She's very smelly, but she's a very sweet little dog. Her little tail wags all the time. She's happy.
Hello again.
Hi, Lisa.
How are you going? It's
Good.
been a
How
while.
are you?
Good. You brought me another little friend.
Yes.
Hello.
Isn't she sweet?
Denise is hoping emergency vet Dr. Lisa Chimes can get to the bottom of the little Maltese Shih Tzu's disturbing head shaking.
All right, we'll bring her through. Let's take a look at her. What Denise does is truly incredible. She takes dogs like Apple from death row at the pound. I just hope that from my physical exam and some questions with Denise, we can find out what's going on.
Okay, she's microchipped, but whoever owned her hasn't claimed her, so probably didn't want her because she does have something going on.
Okay, I can see there that head's having a little bit of a bob, bit of a shake. Hey, Apple, 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 come over here, darling. Let's have a look at you. Oh, it's really bobbing around there, isn't it? Apart from Apple's obvious dishevelled condition, when I look at her, I can see that she's got a condition that's causing her to shake and bob her head all the time. Someone's been neglecting you. It's interesting because it looks like she's had a haircut, but parts of her are so matted and unkept. So someone has done something for her, but
it's weird.
It's weird. It's very weird. Such a sweet little dog. I can't really understand why anyone would give her up.
It happens, Lisa, all the time.
Sadly, very upset.
Yeah.
I can't understand how anyone would give up such a gorgeous, friendly, sweet little dog. She's absolutely delightful, and to think of her in the pound all by herself just breaks my heart. I will get you through this.
Dear Megs. Hey, good girl. Yeah, all right. All right, sweet pea. We'll get you sorted.
Also at SASH, Specialist Surgeon Dr. Andrew Marchevsky is feeling the pressure.
Hey, good girl. Yes, little Megalina.
His mum Pat has brought in Meg, the beloved pet pooch of his 100-year-old grandmother.
Mum was up with my grandmother the other day and they actually noticed that Meg had a little lump around her bottom. Mum took one look at it and gave me a ring and said, Andrew, I think this is for you to do. All right, Megsy, let's have a look at your bottom. That's really nasty.
Oh dear.
I think the lump she's got around her bum is a cancer of some sort. And it's really red and horrible around there, and I think it would be causing a fair bit of irritation, so we've got to get it out of there. Well, I don't think it's going to be too much of a thing to take off, but I guess just with her age, the anaesthetic, we'll have to be a little bit careful with.
What we're worried about.
The surgery to remove the mass is routine, but what's really worrying Andrew is that Meg is 17 years old.
My major concern with her is her anaesthesia. She seems healthy, but just older animals tend to have more problems. Their lungs aren't quite as good. They might have underlying heart disease we don't know about, so it's always a little bit risky.
Every precaution will be taken to ensure that little Meg is safe.
We'll give her an anaesthetic she'll wake up from very quickly, and I'll try and do some sutures that we don't have to take out so she doesn't have to stress her having to come back. So,
Okay.
Yeah, all right, I'll get you back to Gran.
Mother will be like a cat on a hot tin roof.
Yeah. She'll be missing you already, no doubt.
Absolutely.
There's always a little bit of extra pressure when it's your Gran. This dog is her world, so there'll be no slip-ups.
Well, let's go and get that biopsy.
Right, 1, 2, 3.
Chris and Tim have arrived at the Green Cross Veterinary Clinic, 5 minutes from the Australian Reptile Park.
Hello, how are you? How are you? Good. Jack's here for a bit of a nose job.
The 2-year-old Koala is suffering an horrific skin disorder, which is rapidly spreading over his nose and mouth.
It doesn't look any more attractive, does it?
No.
All right, so we're going to get some gas into him here.
Vet nurse Narelle is helping to anaesthetise the little native, so a tissue sample can be taken from his nose.
You go back to it. Obviously, taking a biopsy in such a sensitive part of his body, he does need to be asleep for this, so that's why we're using the gas and the mask, and hopefully he'll be relaxed in just a moment. Good man. It's okay, man. It's okay.
Being knocked out under anaesthetic, it's always a worry because that line rings true that native animals don't handle it as well as domestic, so I'm always right on edge, but have faith in the vet.
Okay, so we'll just be quick here. So the moment that mask comes away, we'll get this biopsy in there, spin it a few times, and then take this lump out. Okay, that's a nice fit on that one. The key with this biopsy is to take it nice and deep, get a full sample, and that way you know the pathologist has the best chance of giving us that answer we need.
The tissue sample will be sent to the lab for analysis. The results should be back within a few days.
Just putting a stitch in. This is clearly something that, as far as we know, hasn't ever happened before.
Yeah.
So, hopefully the answer will be in there.
Nice in there.
I reckon we're done, Narelle.
All right, can wake up, hey?
Any anaesthetic has its risks, and it's just why in this situation you can never relax, and so we're not going to take our eyes off him until he's well and truly awake. You use all sorts of little indicators to tell you when an animal is waking up. With a dog, they tend to chew. With a koala, their natural response is to grab hold of something. We'll know he's awake the moment he grabs hold of this finger here. The imaginary branch.
Breathing's getting faster. Hello, mate.
You all right, buddy? There it is.
He's got ya.
He's on now. The moment Jack does that to my hand, you know, he's back.
Hello, mate. You're all right. He wakes up and it's a relief.
We've managed to get Jack through today, but unfortunately his battles are far from over. It is going to be a nervous wait until we get his results back. Obviously, fingers crossed that they're not tumours and there's something we can actually treat.
Come on, Minzy. What a good dog. Right.
At Sash, Andrew is preparing to operate on his grandmother's dog Meg. The 17-year-old has a nasty cancer growing on its bottom.
You be a good girl under the anaesthetic. No scares for anybody.
The mass needs to be removed urgently, but anaesthetising the little terrier is incredibly risky.
I guess she's 17, there's potentially some anaesthetic issues. They just tend to have less lung capacity, more likely to have a heart issue that we don't know about. So there's just slightly more risk of succumbing to the effects of an anaesthetic. So we just have to go very gently with it. You happy there?
With Meg now safely anaesthetised, Andrew can begin removing the tumour. The procedure itself should only take a few minutes.
Righto, let's go.
It's a bit festy. I'm amazed that she hasn't been irritated by this, to be honest, because it's really quite inflamed and it's infected all the way around it. So, definitely better out. Yeah, this area is always a bit bloody. My bum's got a nice big blood supply, and so I just have to zap a couple of those, for want of a better word, with our electrocoag unit. And that seems to have sorted that out. Go. One bottom mass. Now I'm just putting in some internal dissolving sutures. Right, that's the last one. That's a little bit better. Then we can start to wake her up. The surgery's gone fine, it's come together nicely. We've solved her immediate problem. When you're 17, that's what it's all about. Now we've got to wait for Meg to come through the anaesthesia and recover. Once she's through it, I'll breathe a sigh of relief anyway. You can have a nice little sleep now.
So Denise, I would like to run some tests on her because we obviously don't know where she's come from, so it would be great to run a full panel of blood tests and make sure she hasn't got any internal problems.
Meanwhile, Lisa is still trying to work out the cause of little rescue dog Apple's uncontrollable head shaking.
I don't have a history on Apple and my physical exam can only go so far, so doing a blood test is the next reasonable thing to try and work out if she's got anything going on inside. Hey Krista, this is little Apple and Denise.
Hi, Krista.
So we're just gonna get some blood off her.
The bottom line for Apple is she must get better, completely better, so that we can put her up for adoption and find her a home.
All right, little one.
Lisa wants to make sure Apple's kidneys, liver and other organs are all working normally before she starts treating the head shaking.
Good girl, you're so brave, huh?
Girl.
All right, so we'll just run some tests on these. If everything's normal, then we can start treatment for this shaking problem she's got. I just hope that we don't find anything really serious on these. She could have anything.
Yeah, we'll just say our usual prayers, Lisa.
Okay, I'll be back in a sec.
Okay.
Apart from Apple's coat, malnourishment and shaking, she actually seems like she's in pretty good condition. I can't understand why anyone would have dumped her, and hopefully these blood tests will come back all clear.
Isn't she cute?
Gorgeous, isn't she?
She is. She will be available for adoption, you know.
Great.
She'd like to go with a vet nurse.
Would she?
Yeah, she would.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, ladies, and Miss Apple, Everything's good. All clear. All right, so she's got no sign of any internal diseases. Her blood tests are completely normal, so I'm really, really happy with that. So now we can focus on this shaking problem she has. One of the obvious things Apple has is what we call an intention tremor. So it basically means when she has the intent to do something, when she performs an action, that's when her tremor is worse. And for me, that is a classic sign of a syndrome called shaker disease. So we don't actually know why it happens, but for some reason these young dogs get inflammation in that part of the brain that controls their coordination, and as a result, they have these tremors and the shakes. Fortunately, the treatment for shaker disease is pretty simple. It involves treating her with cortisone to try and control that inflammation in the cerebellum, the part of the brain that controls her coordination.
Lisa also wants little Apple to get an immediate dose of TLC.
I think this little princess needs a clip and bath and she'll be feeling a lot better.
Good girl. Lucky girl.
She's a lucky girl.
Yep.
Chris has travelled from the Australian Reptile Park to the Northern Territory after an unusual SOS.
About 9 months ago, some absolute idiot decided to shoot a seagull with a crossbow. And now she has an arrow protruding about a foot out of her leg. And every day is a battle. Tell me you have seen her recently.
Good morning, Dr. Chris.
How are you, Brian?
Good, thank you.
Good to see you.
Local fisherman Brian has been closely monitoring the injured bird and recording its progress.
I'm racking my brain trying to think of the best way to catch her. And I mean, I've got my ideas. I'm sure you've got your ideas.
Yeah, we certainly have a few ideas that are worth employing.
All right, I've got some gear in the car.
Yep.
So I'll grab that and we'll load up, huh?
Yep.
Yep. All right.
And we get cracking.
I'm being very genuine when I say I don't truly know how today is going to plan out. I don't really know exactly what we're hoping to achieve today. The main priority is to assess how she's going, but to truly know what sort of state she's in, we've got to get out there and we've got to see her. And that in itself is a challenge.
Righto.
It's time to hit the water.
Okay, Brian.
And they're joined by first mate Danny.
You're not worried about crocs?
No.
The croc trap right there.
I know.
You're all mad up here, you know that.
Thank you. And in Sydney.
Probably madder. Now that I'm here, you realise that this is a pretty raw environment. There's a lot of things here that want to eat you and want to eat seagulls as well. I mean, the crocodiles are brutal, but the first thing I need to do is simply watch, have a look at her and see what sort of state this seagull's in, and from there, really fine-tune the plan and see exactly what we can do for her today. See how we go.
Little Apple. Let's see how she goes with a bit of a groom.
Okay.
At Sash, little Apple is about to get a makeover.
Apple's fur is in a really sorry state. It's matted, it's filled with burrs, urine, feces. She must be really uncomfortable and I can't wait to get this coat off her. All right, let's do this. What's this noise, honey? All right, that's okay.
The bedraggled little pound pup has been diagnosed with shaker syndrome.
Good girl, honey. We just get all this knotted hair off you.
After her clean-up, Lisa will start the pup on cortisone treatment.
Her coat back here is just covered in urine, burrs, poo. Oh, look, we're getting through it really quickly, darling. That's the way. Oh my God.
Good work, Lisa.
That is unbelievable. It's like an ear. As I move over Apple's ears, these huge mats come off that are practically the size of her ears. I just can't understand how anyone could let their dog get to this state.
She's being released.
Wow. That is just shocking. Nearly done.
Just feel better, girl.
And that's it. Apple's feeling pretty good about herself, but I don't think she knows what's coming next. She is about to have a bath in a sink. Oh my God, honey. Have you ever had a bath before, Bubs? Probably not.
Her little head's really bobbing, Lisa.
I'm sure. There's a lot of screaming and wriggling as we're trying to bath Apple. I don't think this little dog has ever had a bath before. You're all done. Come back to Denise. There you go.
Yeah. Oh, that feels so much better.
So because all her blood tests are clear and otherwise she's pretty healthy, we're going to put her on some cortisone and hopefully as that kicks in, the tremors will start to stop and eventually she'll go into complete remission.
Once Apple's head tremor is cured, hopefully she can be adopted out.
I think Apple's a real fighter. She's got a real zest for life. She's put up with a lot today, coming out of the pound, having everybody examine her. You know, she deserves to find the best home. Yeah, why don't we give her a kiss?
There are a lot of crocs in this river, aren't there?
There are a lot of crocs in the river here, yep.
But Danny is our spotter at the front.
Yeah, Danny is my first mate.
Chris is in remote waterways about an hour north of Darwin. He's hoping to get a look at a sea eagle that has an arrow through her leg.
You got to question why someone would actually take that time to shoot a sea eagle. But who knows? I mean, they may just be a total idiot, but they could have been looking for a trophy to actually taxidermy, or could have simply been sport. Can she still fish? I mean, do you see her getting fish herself?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
And she can do that easily, or is it difficult with the arrow there?
It's a bit of a challenge. She can pick it up okay, but when she curls her legs back, the arrow hits the water.
Yeah.
And then she lets the fish off.
If the sea eagle is found, it's likely her mate will be alongside her.
How long have they been around this area for now?
They're territorial to this region, and they have been out here about 10 to 15 years.
And always the same pair, so it's
Same pair.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's a monogamous pair that are essentially breeding for life.
Yeah.
It's probably a cliche, but she's lucky to have him, isn't she? She's
Funny you say that because I have actually named the bird Lucky.
really. So we're in their kind of feeding zone right now, aren't we?
Yep, we're in the zone now.
Yeah. This is a massive area. I mean, it is the eagle in the haystack because at the moment, we can't see any movement whatsoever. But the one thing we have to our advantage is the fact that sea eagles have amazing eyesight. So if we can generate a bit of interest here with some other birds circling around, they'll see that no matter where they are, and they'll draw them in. We got one coming in circling. It's a single, so I assume it's probably not a sea eagle.
Would you have a look about 1 o'clock above the tree line? Is that a Brahminy or an eagle?
The flying pattern doesn't really match. So I do think it's a Brahminy kite. But it's a start. You know, if we get those, we might get a few seagulls. Yeah, Brian, I already got one of them. Just over here, at about 11 o'clock. That is it.
Hey, Lizzie.
Hey, any waggle-eye eggs yet?
I haven't been up there today.
How long have we been waiting?
Oh, well, you tell me. We've tried many times, but this could be it.
Good luck.
OK, I'm going up there. Fingers crossed.
All right.
At the Australian Reptile Park, everyone is excited about a special breeding program.
Is today the big day?
Tim is checking on a female dwarf king brown snake.
What are you hiding in there, little girl?
2 months ago, Tim introduced a male dwarf king brown into the enclosure.
In you go, mate. There she is. What do you reckon?
Dwarf king browns, also known as waggle-eye, are incredibly rare, and captive breeding programs like this one could be the key to their survival. Tim faced an anxious wait to find out if the mating resulted in successfully fertilised eggs.
Today could be a world first. If she's going to lay eggs, and if she has eggs inside her, it's got to be close to the date. Amazing. This is awesome. We've got eggs, but we're only halfway. Hopefully, the eggs are fertile, and this could be the first clutch to ever hatch. Come on, darling. That's it. That's it. Now I need to remove the eggs and set them up in an artificial incubator. Now, in the wild, a snake might find a perfect spot that's climatically controlled to hatch those eggs. That can be difficult to provide sometimes within their enclosure, so we use a whole room that's the perfect temperature and perfect environment to hatch the little snakes. There it is, the egg of a dwarf king brown. A little egg for a little snake. White gold, if you ask me.
Yeah, that's it.
Yep.
That's it.
Chris is near Darwin trying to spot Lucky, the sea eagle with a massive arrow protruding from its body.
Yeah, Brian, definitely her. Can see the arrow in there. There are a couple of really important steps before we actually get to the act of catching her. And first of all, I really want to get some photos of this eagle. I want to see exactly what sort of body condition she's in, how she's flying, how she's manipulating herself in flight, and also, importantly, catching food. Okay, so it's definitely her. I mean, we've got a big arrow sticking out of that leg there. She's in decent condition. I wouldn't say she's underweight. And that arrow is really moving through the right thigh. Whilst I'm encouraged by what I've seen from her so far, there's no doubt that catching her is still the best chance here of giving her a normal life.
We're probably in with a chance here, Chris.
She'll come in and grab, and when she grabs it there, you pull on this, and that releases the snare and tightens like a noose, hopefully around her ankles there.
Yep.
And then we can nurse her back
Yep.
to land.
One risk we have here is the crocodile, because, you know, they could be sitting out there watching what's going on. And if a bird like that, you're gonna hit the deck, we're not at liberty to just dive in and pick the bird up, you know.
If we're lucky enough to catch her with this lure here, then we'd have to net her out of the water, have to get the gloves on, cut it, and minimise the stress and get her back to the wild as quick as we can. But she's watching, and hopefully the eyes are bigger than the stomach. She'll be tempted enough to take flight, and then we're in the game here. Going in, 3, 2, 1. Well, it floats. Here we go. What's coming up now is going to be a bit of a delicate dance because we need to throw out enough fish to get the Brahminikites interested and, importantly, occupied. From there, we can then throw out our lure and hopefully catch her. But if she takes the fish we throw out now, that's a disaster, because then she's satisfied, she'll decide that, hey, I don't need to go for any more fish, and our chance of actually catching her with our lure will rapidly diminish. That's good, Brahminikites have cleared out. It's got 2 eagles circling around. Okay, ladies first.
But not everything is going to plan.
Yeah.
She's circling there. She can see that fish. Oh, don't. Don't do it, don't.
I didn't want that to happen. Better try again. Maybe we'll give her half an hour. She'll be probably digest that and come back.
You're kind of stuck, aren't you? Because you want the other ones to take the fish and distract all the other birds. But, I mean, look, on the upside, she can actually fish.
She can. Nearly had her.
But in the wild, there's no such thing as a free lunch.
Ooh, now we've got a battle going on. Both trying to get the same bit of food here.
Can she fend off the competition trying to steal it?
She may be weakened now because of this arrow, so the juvenile may feel like she can come in and start stealing food.
Yeah.
Look at that, she's going to go and feed, but now the male's coming in to get rid of that juvenile that's hassling her. That's incredible, the bond they must have, though, for him to be doing that.
Yeah.
It's a pretty amazing thing to see. That's almost a human emotion you see there, where the man's coming in to defend his woman. You don't normally expect that with wild animals, but you see it there, and it's quite touching, you know, and he clearly knows that his missus isn't doing so well, and he's willing to lend her a hand.
A bit of romance going on there. I think she's a survivor. She's a strong girl. she's got a partner who's, I think, been with her right through. And, you know, when they pair up like that, they pair up for life.
Seeing her condition, seeing how she flies and seeing how she manages to manipulate herself, I'm, to be honest, a little bit heartened. I'm encouraged because I feel like she's coping better than I thought she would. And catching her might actually be too traumatic and may actually put her through unnecessary stress when, at the moment, whether she has the arrow or not, isn't really affecting her life at all.
We got the opportunity of seeing the bird today, which is a big consolation, really, because, you know, it's again proven to me that she's still strong and healthy.
But the day is not over yet.
I think we've got a little surprise waiting for us here.
Why?
I think the door's down, Brian.
We didn't catch a seagull,
right, Brian.
but it looks like we've caught a crocodile.
Full alert. Uh-oh.
Hey, Meg. How you doing? I think you're right to go home, aren't you? Why were we worried about your anaesthetic? You're covered like a 2-year-old, not a 17-year-old.
Later that afternoon at Sash, Meg, the little terrier which belongs to Andrew's grandmother, has recovered from her surgery.
She's an amazing old dog, she really is. For the last hour and a half, she's been howling and telling me she wants to leave, so we're going to get her out the door.
Andrew's mum, Pat, is also thrilled with the pup's progress.
She's done very well.
Ooh.
Yeah.
She's come out of the anaesthetic very well.
Yeah, no worries at all.
Truly has surprised me how quickly she's come out from the anaesthetic. She's ready to go home and I'm very happy.
So take her home, say hello to Gran for me.
Shall do.
And let me know how she's doing in a week or so.
I shall.
Yeah.
Hey, we go home?
All right.
Thank you very much.
All right, Mum.
Okay.
Bye.
See you, Non. Bye. Thank you.
Gran will be ecstatic to have her back home. She's, you know, been worried about her, as you'd imagine. And, you know, her whole life revolves around patting her dogs, feeding her dogs, patting dogs, feeding her dogs. So, yeah, it's important.
Thank you. That's it.
Look out. Full alert.
Chris is near Darwin, where he's been on the water monitoring an injured seagull.
It's a pretty interesting old day when you get back from having not caught a seagull, but somehow you've caught a croc. That's the territory for you.
The croc trap is right next to a busy boat ramp, and rangers have arrived to remove the animal.
There's a croc trap here because this is a boat ramp that gets used all day. And the thing about crocs is they notice habits forming, and once they see people going in and out of the water here, they'll hang around and hope for a meal. And that meal could be human.
Just hang on here, we need a couple on the rope because if he takes off, Chris goes swimming.
What do you do with a croc you've just caught in a croc trap? Guess we're about to find out.
Okay, open it up.
Yep. And let him go.
Here we go, here he comes, here he comes, here he comes.
We go back a bit.
This croc is only about 1.5 to 2 metres long, so it shouldn't be a massive problem. But the thing about these crocs is they're small, they're fast, they're agile, and they're tricky to handle.
He's not going to probably kill you through his bite, but the thing is he can still drown an adult. You know? If he keeps you underwater, well, you can't hold your breath, so it doesn't matter how big you are. We've had 4 fatalities so far this year, so we haven't even got into our bad time of the season. Only last month we got a 4.12 out of here, so we do get a number of crocs here.
The captured saltwater croc will be taken to a nearby crocodile farm.
It's kind of a bizarre end to what has been a pretty tough day, but you miss one and all of a sudden you end up with another. It's just the way things work around here. Now, as much as this place is full of surprises, what won't surprise me is if Brian eventually catches lucky. He's not going to give up.
Oh, look at her come down. Oh, look at that.
Hello, Jackie boy. What's going on?
At the Australian Reptile Park, it's been a worrying time for Tim. Finally, Jack's biopsy results are in.
Unbelievable. He has acne. He's 2 years old. He's turning from a juvenile koala into a man. They do it at this age. And he's a pimple-faced teenager. The good news is it's not contagious. How's that nose of yours, buddy? How's that nose? Well, it's no worse.
The spotty teenager will need daily treatment.
Antiseptic wash first. Stay there. Thank you. I need to scrub up his nose, his lips, his eyes, and just keep it nice and clean and exfoliate a bit of that old skin. And then once it's clean and dry, apply some moisturiser. Come here, pal. There we go. That's a boy. A little bit round your mouth. That's you all done. It's such a relief. Now Jack can be like a normal teenager. And he's showing signs that he's ready to breed, and that's a good thing. He needs those bumps cleared up to look good for the ladies. There you go, mate. See you tomorrow, Jack.
Come on. Good girl.
It's been 3 months since little Apple began treatment for her debilitating shaker syndrome. And finally, there's some good news.
Apple is doing brilliantly. The head wobble has stopped, the medication has worked, and everything's great. So now Apple's ready for a new home. Come on, Apple. Look who's over here. You excited? Here she is, Sushma.
Hello.
Look.
Oh.
Good girl. How are you? So, Sushma, what do you think?
Oh, she looks really beautiful. We're not letting her go anywhere. We love giving dogs another chance at life, so we are going to adopt her and she stays with us forever.
Oh, you're a lovely girl. Sushma and her family are just wonderful because to them, a dog is a family member. They include their dogs in everything. Any dog that goes to live with Sushma's family is a very lucky dog.
Good girl.
Apple's recovered, she's happy. We could not have asked for a better ending for Apple. It's great. Bye, Apple.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Let's go home. Come on, Apple. Good girl.
Hey, Kel.
Hey,
What are you chopping up?
just some possum food. Bet I can guess where you're going.
Yeah, you got it. I'm heading to the Waggle Eyes.
Are they hatched yet?
No, any day.
Good luck.
Thank you. Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
It's another exciting day for Tim at the Australian Reptile Park.
Look at you. Amazing.
This is exactly what he's been hoping for. Baby Dwarf King Browns.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Beautiful.
The successful breeding of the Dwarf King Brown species, also known as Waggle Eye, is a world first.
I gotta call John. Tim to John.
Yeah, Tim.
Hey, John, you got to make your way up to the vending room. You're in for a little treat.
Yeah, okay, yep, all right.
John Weigel, the reptile park owner, found and discovered this Dwarf King Brown species in the Kimberley region of Western Australia. That's why their last name is Waggle Eye, named after him. That's why it makes this not only a world first and a good achievement, but we're really proud because we've done this for John.
Hey, it is what I was hoping.
It certainly is.
Is this the Waggle Eyes?
Yep, all 6 hatched.
Well, isn't that great? That's the
is.
first time in Australia. That's fantastic.
Watch out, mate. They're little but still pack a punch. I don't need to tell you that, do I?
This is very exciting, and when you work at a reptile park, this is the sort of thing that makes it worthwhile, because I know the guys have been working a long time trying to get some successful breeding from these snakes, and yeah, they put it together. It's fantastic.
These hatchlings are now important pioneers. If the breeding program continues to be successful, it could be the key to the survival of this rare and endangered species.
I better set them up in their little enclosures.
Well, good on you. I gotta go back to my mundane world, but well done.
Well, you found the species.
Well, that was the easy part.
I don't know.
This is the juicy part. Well done. That's very exciting.
Breeding the Dwarf King Browns is a real highlight, but being able to show them to John on top of that, well, just makes it better. He's really humble, but the fact is, he discovered this species, and it's a credit to the whole team here that we can proudly show them to him.
You know, it's funny how word spreads around these parts. I mean, I've been in the territory for very long and already I've got another case. One of the true characters of this part of the world, plus one of the true pioneers, happens to run the only dairy farm in the top end. He's got an animal that needs some help. Only thing is, she's not a cow.
Chris is spending a second week in Darwin and is responding to a call for help from buffalo farmer Jeff.
Been good lad, isn't he?
He's in desperate need of help for his beloved swamp buffalo Penny.
G'day.
How are you?
I'm all right for an old bloke.
Hey, nice to meet you. I'm Chris.
Oh, my word.
How you going? Now,
come inside and meet my friend.
if this is Penny,
No, that's
the most masculine-looking Penny I've ever seen in my life.
No, she's waiting to see you, actually. She's down the back there.
Yep.
And we can go down and get her and bring her up.
All right, let's go and have a look at her and we'll see what we can do for you.
You bet.
Jeff's called me out here to have a look at one of his buffalo. She's got horns that are now growing back into her head. That is obviously a very dangerous situation.
There she is, looking straight at you.
Oh, wow. She's obviously got a problem there.
It almost looks as if she's got a set of earphones on.
Yeah. So, how long's that been a problem for her now?
Oh, the last year.
Yeah.
Yeah, when she was a calf, she would have been about like that. Yeah. And someone endeavoured to stop her horns from growing.
And that's just changed the direction of the growth of those horns?
Oh, that's what I think.
Yeah. Yeah, poor thing. Penny was apparently an orphan, and when she was young, someone tried to burn her horns off with acid. When that happened, it's changed the direction of growth of the horns. So instead of them going out and up, they're now going down and in. Once those horns do actually start to press in on the skull, that'd be the end of her. She just couldn't survive with that sort of pain.
The only solution is to trim both of Penny's horns.
So if we can get her up into the yard here,
oh, she'll go up.
That's obviously going to help.
Chris and Jeff now have the difficult task of luring Penny into a crush.
The idea today is to get in there, sedate her, make her nice and relaxed, and then using a wire, cut through those horns and shorten them. But this is not going to be easy.
This is the basking spot, so it should be warm. That's perfect. Yep, that's good.
General Manager Tim Faulkner is preparing for an exciting first at the Australian Reptile Park.
Today is a pretty special day. We've got some VIPs coming. Not only VIPs, but they are nature's true giants and they're deadly. And for me, it's more than special because I've never, ever had my hands on one.
Jules is here.
Go ahead, Jules.
Hey, I'm back and brought a couple of special guests with me. I'm just going into the car park now.
Okay, I'm coming right now. I'll see you there.
Roger.
How you going?
Good, good.
Have you had a look yet?
No, I thought I'd save it.
Today's a big day. We are getting Komodo dragons at the reptile park for the first time ever. Our lizards actually originated from the United States and they've been exported and imported by us. Very, very special, and it's been a long time coming to get them here. Sorry, mate. Look at that. How special is that?
Oh, he's beautiful.
There are only a handful of Komodos currently in Australia, so Tim is proud to add to the numbers.
That's a bit of Komodo attitude. This is 1 year old. Now, Komodos hatch maybe only 30 centimetres long, very, very small, but they grow very quickly. And, 2 to 3 years of age, we could have a 2-metre lizard that's weighing 50 kilos. And this is the biggest lizard on Earth.
Yeah. Oh, what a beautiful boy. It's something that, as a reptile keeper, you dream about and talk about, and you think, oh, it's never going to happen. We'll never get Komodos, and they're finally here. So yeah, I don't know what else to say. I'm speechless.
Komodo dragons are an endangered species. The plan for this male and female is to get together and boost the numbers of dragons in captivity.
Hello. Don't you open your mouth at me, buddy. Before we put them into their enclosure, it's important that we just have a basic look over to make sure that they're healthy and well. So have a look up around the eyes, mouth, nose. Clear. The boy's name is Kraken. It's actually pretty special because Kraken was the name of the first Komodo dragon ever to be studied by Westerners. So Komodos are in a really isolated little spot in Indonesia, and it's a pretty symbolic name.
And this is what the 2 young Komodos will look like when fully grown. Only around 2,000 are left in the wild. These prehistoric creatures can grow to 3 metres and can top 100 kilograms.
Let's have a look at the girl. What's her name?
Daenerys.
Daenerys. What is that?
Name the female Daenerys. It might be a little bit lame to some, like Tim, but basically it's from a TV show, and Daenerys is actually queen of all the dragons. So I thought that kind of suited our first female Komodo.
Hello, little darling.
Look at that mouth.
She's very pretty, and she's cheeky. She's trying to whip this tail around. It's been a big trip getting here, but now it's time to get them into their enclosure and get them settled.
So we separated the group here.
Yep, we've taken them away from the herd.
South of Darwin, Chris and Buffalo dairy farmer Jeff are trying to move Penny into a crush.
Steady, steady girl, steady, easy baby.
The 10-year-old new mum has deformed horns. They're growing into her skull, dangerously close to her brain.
Whoa, whoa.
The idea today is to sedate her, make her nice and relaxed, and then using a wire, cut through those horns and shorten them, and really free up some space so she can get on with her life pain-free.
No. No.
Come on, girl. In we go.
Come on, Spidey. Come on, Patty.
In we
Come
go.
on, Patty.
There we go. Good girl. There we go.
We'll shut this gate.
Penny is finally in the cooling yard, but the battle isn't over.
Whoa, Spidey. Whoa.
At the moment, it's a bit of a dance between Jeff and Penny. Each time she moves in and sniffs him and gives him bad body language, he moves away. At the moment she calms down, he comes closer. Hopefully, with this patient approach, we'll get her in. What's her problem at the moment?
She's just upset. No. Come on, off you go. Come on. That's me, darling. Up you go. Up you go. Bobby's there too. Come on.
We're slowly getting her trust, aren't we? Very slowly.
We've got her in. We'll shut this gate.
Finally, Penny is into the race, but right now she isn't exactly thrilled with the situation. She is looking a bit stressed. The problem with stress is that it really makes the behaviour of any animal unpredictable. And when you consider what we have to do to Penny today, it's obviously a very dangerous situation.
Woo, pet, woo, pet, woo, 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 woo.
Pretty special, Jules. Not every day you're going to be doing this.
Oh, I know, right?
Yeah.
At the Australian Reptile Park, Tim and keeper Julie are releasing female Komodo Daenerys into her new enclosure.
Look at that.
Oh, she wants to go. You're right, I'm just gonna let her go right up there. There you go. Hey. You're all right. Getting the Komodos here today is definitely a historical event for us here at the Reptile Park. It's a species we've never held, and it's also the largest living species of lizard in the entire world.
She looks good. She's just sizing you up thinking, am I going to take her on or not?
I definitely think the female was a little bit more feisty than the male, so, it'll be interesting as we get to know their different personalities.
Once in a lifetime, and certainly a first for me and the park. OK, mate.
As Daenerys gets accustomed to her new home, it's Tim's turn to release the male Komodo, Kraken.
Perfect. They're babies. They're only 1.2 metres long, but over the next few years, they're going to turn into 3-metre lizards, 100 kilos. They're a really interesting critter, and to think we're now going to have them is something I didn't think would ever happen. All right, mister. I'll see you later.
In Bondi, Lisa is making a special house call. 2 pet lovers desperately need her help with a doggy dilemma.
Choosing a new dog is never an easy decision. I just hope that I can help them make the right choice.
Hey Lisa, how are you?
Hi, good.
Thanks for coming.
This family has owned dogs in the past and are now ready to open their home and their hearts to a new arrival.
So I need
as much information as possible. I need to know what you want to do with this dog, what sort of size dog, what kind of coat, activity levels.
I don't want something that's going to require a lot of exercise and a lot of attention.
Okay.
You know, we're looking at something that's got a pretty good temperament as well. We don't want a shedder.
Yes.
We don't want something that smells when it gets wet. So we're limiting choices,
that's really narrow. Are you sure you want a dog?
Brad and Amanda have got a list of criteria that is actually quite overwhelming. They have so many things that they want in a dog, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to find that.
So you want a dog that can live in Bondi, that's not the size of a Great Dane, it's not a Chihuahua, doesn't shed hair, it's not allowed to smell like a dog. It's got to be able to walk on a lead, but like exercise, but not be unruly and not run like a lunatic, and want your companionship, but not be high maintenance. Okay, all right. This is the unicorn of a dog that we are creating.
We're getting there. We've given Lisa a really tough job, and, you know, even we don't know if such a dog exists.
I'll be in touch, guys. I'm not going to give away anything just yet.
Thanks, Lisa.
That's okay.
This is the first chance I've really had to be up close and personal with Penny's horns, and you can see they've already pressed in, and if we did nothing, it would kill her. There's no doubt about that.
At a buffalo dairy farm outside Darwin, Chris is about to begin life-saving treatment on Penny.
And I'll give her an injection into the muscle, which is just going to relax her. Yep. And from there, if we can actually get her out with her head tied up, in a nice little halter, we'll do the procedure.
Concerned farmer Jeff is hoping for a good outcome.
It's life-threatening to her. And, you know, she's a top little girl.
Straight away I know that I've actually managed to get a decent dose into it because that drooling's begun.
Easy, baby.
Her eyes are starting to look a little bit droopy and she's starting to sway. They're telltale signs. She needs to come out now. That's all right, she's going.
With Penny now relaxed enough, it's safe for Chris to begin the procedure.
The very inside of the horn has a blood supply and nerves in there as well. So if we go through the wrong part, she could feel it. I don't want that, so I'm going to block out any sensation with a nerve block. Okay, doesn't seem like much, but this is embryotomy wire. The whole idea with this is it provides a really fine cut through the horn whilst also essentially blocking off the blood vessels as it goes. That's really effective. Just have to keep it moving nice and quick. Now, we may get a little bit of blood, but that'll be fine. We can manage that. I'm only going to cut off about half the horn. That may be enough to be a permanent fix. If it's not, it's still going to buy about 10 years of carefree life for her. Let's up and get a bit of smoke there too. Okay, not much blood loss. We've gone into a nice area there, just a little bit of bleeding, which is what you expect. And we haven't exposed that skull cavity, which is really the priority. Hopefully now, if it grows out, it'll take it away from the body rather than into it. Still want to go. The wire's getting quite hot between the fingers.
I'll bet it is.
Here we go. Almost done, girl.
Look, no blood at all.
No blood at all.
Well done. Oh, look at you.
Having this off her head really means that she doesn't have that ticking clock beside her brain that whole time. Now she can graze, she can wander around, she can raise her babies, maybe even produce just a bit of milk for Jeff, but she doesn't have to have this worry sitting right there.
Penny will spend the next few hours sleeping off her sedation. But for now, everyone, including her little calf Mary, is happy.
In so many other situations and on other properties, Penny may have just been put down with this problem, but because of the bond that Jeff and her have, she's got her a second chance.
I'm sure you've had lots of thanks from people, but I'd like to think I've just gone to the top of saying thank you.
I think the most pleasing thing for me is the fact that Penny's happy and Jeff seems thrilled.
Well, here you go, Kraken. Your first look around, mate. Now you behave.
At the Australian Reptile Park, Tim is giving Komodo dragon Kraken a guided tour of his new home.
We call ourselves a hands-on zoo and we do things a little bit differently. We take Komodo dragons out for people to have a pat. G'day, guys. How you going? Now, doesn't look that big at the moment, but this is Kraken and he's a Komodo dragon, the biggest lizard on Earth. There you go. Komodos are seriously endangered. They are getting protection now and they're being well looked after, but the important thing is that people do have an experience with Komodos and they know about them. If people touch a lizard, feel a lizard, see a lizard, they know a Komodo dragon, they want to help. What's he feel like?
A bit like a crocodile.
A bit like a crocodile, yeah. Well, I think they're all pretty similar. They're all like still living dinosaurs. You know, you're the first people to pat him.
I feel special.
Yeah, you are. You give him a pat down on the back. There you go. This is a Komodo dragon, and his name's Kraken. When a little kid that's into dinosaurs and things like that sees a real-life Komodo dragon, there's a look on their face that, you know, you can't beat it. It's really special.
I will pat on his tail.
Yes, I'll hold the tail out and you can pat him on the tail. Very brave. There you are. I've got his head. This is a really good moment because he's suitable for the reptile park. He's going to be a good lizard, he's going to be an ambassador for his species, and he's going to be a valuable part of the breeding program.
You look good. Leave you in peace now.
Near Darwin, Penny is happily recovering with her little calf Mary.
The great thing is that she's going to relax a lot more knowing the baby's back.
Yeah. Brilliant, and it's helped her and she can have a different life and hopefully go back to doing her job.
Considering what Penny's been through in her life and the fact that nothing's ever been easy, she deserves this break and she deserves to have Jeff. The two of them together, they're one hell of a team. What do you got here?
Well, what have I got here? One for you, one for me, and some of top-end Buffalo's best. Buffalo ricotta.
How about that? You've gone all gourmet on me.
Hey, no.
Well, Jeff.
Here's to a lovely day.
And here's to Penny.
Bless you all, mate. Lovely having you. I really mean that.
I wonder what Lisa's what to have to
I
say.
don't know. I'm very curious about what's going on.
Bondi pet lovers Brad and Amanda have enlisted Lisa's help to find the perfect dog to suit their lifestyle.
Hello.
Hi, Lisa. How are you?
Hi, Lisa. How are you?
Good.
I can't wait to see what Lisa's come up with to fulfill all the criteria that we gave him.
So why are we here? What's going on?
Well, I brought you guys here because there is a dog that I would love you to meet.
Oh, okay.
I'm really hoping that Brad and Amanda meet this dog and fall in love with him. He's a gentle giant. He is this big couch potato. He's a sook. He's affectionate. I personally think that he will be perfect for Brad and Amanda.
Ooh.
Boy.
Who have we got here, Lisa?
So, this is Tigu.
Right.
And this is Jeanette.
Hi, Jeanette.
Hi, Jeanette. How are you? Nice to meet you.
A greyhound.
Yeah, I didn't... Well,
I wasn't expecting that, Lisa.
No. Lisa, he ticks some of the boxes, doesn't he? He's got the fur, the short fur, the right height.
They're quite lazy.
Okay.
They just love a short walk in the morning and in the evening, about 20 minutes is fine.
Right. Greyhound, what the racing dog, you know, I've always thought greyhounds would be not a vicious dog, but a dog you might have to watch with smaller dogs. So there's a lot of questions in my mind I have to have answered, yes.
The muzzle.
He's not aggressive at all. It's a law in Australia that greyhounds have to wear muzzles. There is a program that they can do called Greenhound where you can sort of rehabilitate them and they don't have to wear their muzzle anymore.
Do you mind if I just take him for a little walk? I mean, just to get a feel for him?
My pleasure.
Come on, mate.
Brad and Amanda have their reservations about Tigu. They have some preconceived ideas about greyhounds, and a lot of people do. The problem is that there is a myth and a stigma that greyhounds are aggressive, that they don't make good pets, and that is totally untrue.
You know, he's affectionate, that's slightly aloof, without being overboard.
Yep.
Yeah, well,
All right.
we have to give it some thought.
I think so.
Well, I think he's a really lovely boy.
Yeah, I think you're sold on him.
Hello. Yeah, gorgeous boy. I think Lisa's been quite clever with whom she's come up with, given all the criteria which we gave her. He's gorgeous and I'm sort of in love with him, but I just want to make sure that it's the right fit for both Tigu and for us.
Tigu's foster carer wants Brad and Amanda to take him home for a 2-week trial to see if all 3 of them get along.
Hey, Tigu, it's not about them interviewing you, it's about you interviewing them. Are they the owners you want?
The cat that's fallen? Yeah, come straight through. So, what's happened?
He was able to squeeze through the window in the bathroom, got out and fallen.
Okay.
And so we found him on the 3rd floor in some bushes. Okay. So he's limping.
Chris is back in Bondi, and 1-year-old Spidey has been rushed into the clinic by Julia and her dad Roger after a shocking accident.
Apparently Roger was trying to catch Spidey, but Spidey saw a narrow opening in a door, made a run for it, and overbalanced on the windowsill and fell at least 9 metres. For any animal, that's a tough fall. The first thing I do with Spidey is look at his gum colour. That gives me a really clear idea about his circulation, whether he's in shock and whether he's losing blood. He's just a little pale on that side. So what I'm doing at the moment is just assessing his vital signs. Okay. His heart rate, it's certainly up there. His breathing rate's very high too. I mean, he's breathing at more than 1 breath a second. It's almost like he's panting.
Spidey's elevated vital signs are serious cause for concern.
What the high heart rate, the high respiratory rate, and the pale gum colour is telling me is that Spidey is certainly in shock right now.
Okay.
Shock can be incredibly dangerous. Essentially, the body overreacts and sends the blood away from the important parts like the lungs, the heart, and the other internal organs to the muscles, expecting that that animal has to make a run for it, when really, it's the worst possible situation.
Here he is.
Hi. Hello, Tigu.
Hello, mate.
How are you? Hello. Hello.
At Bondi, Lisa's plan to match up a retired Greyhound racer with her empty nest of friends Amanda and Brad is about to be put to the test.
Brad and Amanda have decided to take Tigu home for a trial period. Now, while the 3 of them may get on famously, there's still a lot that could go wrong, so I'm not going to get my hopes up just yet.
What a good boy.
Hello, boy. Hello. Come say hello. Oh, baby, that's lovely.
Yeah?
Baby boy. Tigu doesn't seem too nervous. He actually seems quite relaxed and chilled, which I think taking is a good sign.
What do you think, mate?
What do you think of these people?
What do you think?
Are they all right? Tigu's had a pretty rough start to his life. He's been on the racetrack and then with a foster carer, and now he's here in Brad and Amanda's home, working out whether or not he's going to be staying here. And I really hope that this gorgeous, loving, affectionate dog has his last stop right here. I'm keeping my fingers crossed that everything works out, but like I said, I don't want you rushing into it. No. This was just an idea that came to mind. I think he suits you guys, so now we just got to see if it actually works.
Good boy.
But as foster carer Jeanette goes to leave,
all right, Tigu, you're not going with Jeanette, bud.
Tigu seems to be having second thoughts.
I'll get him back, bud. Tigu, you're staying here. Oh, this is going to be hard. You're staying with Brad and Amanda.
Quick.
Come on. Come on, bud. He's obviously really bonded with Jeanette, but he'll get used to you guys. Oh, this is hard.
There we go. Thanks, Jeanette.
That's okay. Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
It's been a big risk introducing Brad and Amanda to a dog they've never met, to a breed they've never considered. In theory, it should work. I just hope they don't prove me wrong.
Okay, here we start the trial.
Yep.
It actually might be him more than us.
That's right.
We'll have to wait and see.
The thing we're fighting at the moment is the fact that when they are in shock, all the blood essentially goes to their muscles when really the parts of their body that need it are their essential organs like their lungs and heart.
At the Bondi Clinic, 1-year-old Spidey is in shock after falling 3 stories from a window ledge. Distressed owner Julia and her father Roger found the injured cat crying for help in the bushes below.
What I might do straight away is just give him something for the shock, just to relax him and also take away some of the pain.
Yeah.
Okay, let's have a look through all these legs here. My immediate concerns, given the fact that Spidey has fallen at least 9 metres, is trauma. So either internal injuries or fractures to those legs.
Is that the one?
Yeah, it's certainly sore. His back right, he's really resenting me doing too much to that.
Do you think it's broken?
Look, it's certainly sore, but the only way to know for sure whether there is a fracture is with an X-ray.
But suddenly, Roger spots a distressing problem.
It's a little bit of blood.
Let's have a little look here. Of all the places where he's got blood,
Yeah, I know.
it's where a man doesn't want to have any sort of pain whatsoever. He almost looks like he has a little abrasion on the skin just around that area.
I'm thinking, because it was a fairly twiggy sort of bush.
Yeah, was it?
Yeah.
Worst case scenario here, if a branch has penetrated into Spidey's abdominal cavity, it could have ruptured a blood vessel or punctured an important organ like the liver or the kidney. If that has happened, he could be bleeding internally. I think if we x-ray just this back half of his body,
I think so.
That way we'll know for sure. Okay, let's do that now. If Spidey has suffered some sort of internal injury that's now bleeding into his abdominal cavity, then the clock is ticking. The simple fact is that a fracture won't kill Spidey, but internal bleeding might.
Roger and his anxious daughter Julia are praying for good news.
X-ray!
What I'm looking for is any loss of definition of these organs here. If I can't see them clearly, then it means there's fluid wrapped around those organs, which would be blood. In this case though, I can see a liver, I can see a kidney, I can see intestines, even a bladder here. So I can quite confidently say there's no bleeding happening around those organs. It's good news. I mean, even his spine here is looking in alignment. No fractures through these bones here. This little guy somehow managed to find a way to land, and land well. The bush may very well have saved his life. So coming through here, I think we've been a little bit harsh on Spidey. He may actually be a Spider-Man.
Oh, is that right?
There's no fractures at all.
No fracture. And no break.
No.
Little man.
Well done. So he is a lucky cat.
He's incredibly lucky. All right, so there's one more thing we need to do, just to clean him up before he goes home.
All right, okay.
And then you'll be on your way.
I think it's just amazing that he was so daring in the first place, falling 3 floors, and you would think, you know, any normal cat might have had, you know, at least a sprain, at least something to show for it. But no, Spidey Man, he definitely survived.
So guys, get you to hold him up there. Turns out the source of this blood on his belly isn't internal, it's external. It's coming from his penis. Of all places you get spiked by a tree, in Spidey's case, it was that place that is the most sensitive of all. If this is the worst thing that happens, it's not all bad, is it? Even though Spidey's a cat, the basic principles of first aid still apply. If you have swelling and inflammation, it's important to bring that down with something cold. Unfortunately for Spidey, it must feel like the worst possible treatment right now. Yeah, it's all in working order.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Good to know.
That's a relief.
Fortunately for Spidey, the indignity is finally over and he can go home.
He will not be going outside. I'm going to be watching him like a hawk from now on to make sure that he is very much safe.
So I'm very happy for you guys that it's all worked out okay.
Thanks very much.
Okay. No problem at all. All right. Given the events of today, it's safe to say that Spidey won't be straying too far away from Julia. She's going to have this spider cat locked in her web for a long time to come, and he won't be going near any open windows.
So today is the end of the cooling off period, huh?
Yeah.
How's it been going?
Why don't you come and have a look?
At Bondi, it's been 2 weeks since Tigu moved in with Amanda and Brad. And it's time to see how everyone is getting along.
So today's decision day for Brad, Amanda and Tigu, and I'm really hoping that visiting them now, I will see a happy family. Hey Amanda!
Hi Lisa, how are you?
Hi.
Good to see you.
Hi, yeah, thank you. Big kisses.
Well, as you can see, well, what do you think?
Are you at home?
Do you think he looks happy?
Are you at
Lisa?
home here? Hey? You're at home here?
He's so at home.
Oh, that's so
this
great
is,
to
yeah.
see.
He's a happy boy.
Daddy.
I can't believe it's only 2 weeks that Tigu's been here. It's really as if he's been here forever. He honestly is.
He smiles all the time.
Oh, and so do you guys.
Every day's a happy day for him.
Yeah. He's the best dog, Lisa. Really.
Yeah.
You've done well.
Yeah, you have.
It's amazing.
I had such a all these misconceptions about what owning a greyhound's all about, and now that I've got one and he's here with us, I was just so wrong. They are just gentle, they're quiet, and they just love him.
Not once have I seen any aggression.
Well, I think he belongs here and
He
not on the
does.
track.
He does.
He doesn't
That's
belong
for
here.
sure.
He's retired.
It's not just Brad and Amanda who are happy with the arrangements. Tigu is clearly thriving in his new home as well.
Happy with your new lodgings?
Tigu's won the lottery. Here he is in Bondi, a pampered pooch with a family that absolutely love him. It couldn't be any better. You enjoy your new family. Hey? You enjoy your new family.
Thanks once again. Thank
Enjoy
you so
him.
much.
My pleasure.
Bye.
Take care.
He's home.
Yep.
Right now, I'm on my way to the Australian Reptile Park. See if I can help out a blue-tongued lizard that's got itself into all sorts of trouble.
The call for help has come from the park's general manager, Tim Faulkner.
Come on, buddy.
Timmy.
Hey, mate.
I could have really taken advantage of that situation.
I'm glad
really
you didn't. It's only the world's deadliest spider.
Yeah, I've been driving up here wondering, how does a lizard break its leg?
He gets in a fight with his wife.
Okay, that explains it.
She bit him, rolled and tumbled, and his leg's toast.
All right, let's go and see this.
Yeah, I'll show you where he is.
Like now.
Follow me. I've called Chris up to have a look at little Centralian blue tongue. Larry's had a bit of an altercation with his girlfriend. The leg's limp. It's straight out. He hasn't used it for a few days now. Doesn't look good.
He's obviously not happy.
Doesn't want to move it, does he?
No, he doesn't. That's a good example as he's turning. That should be the time it's really digging in and pushing off, but he's just got it stretched out.
Yeah. Looks sore.
Without an X-ray, it's often tricky to know whether you're dealing with a fractured leg or a dislocation or a serious sprain or even a bruise. But in this case, looking at the way the leg has deviated and is essentially deformed now, you know it's broken. I feel like we need to be doing something to that to try to fix it.
Yeah.
Because if we don't, it's just going to keep on dragging along behind it.
Yep.
But the tricky thing is you can't put a blue-tongued lizard on crutches.
No. The worry is if he's got a broken leg and the bones are in there grinding on each other, that he's in a lot of pain. So I guess even if Chris can't make his leg perfect, he can stop him from being in pain.
You just need to work out exactly where this break is. We can do it fairly easily by just comparing the good leg with the bad leg. I think this area here, which is his femur, is fine because when you compare it to this side, they're very similar.
Yeah.
I think his hip joint's intact because he can do all the movements that this leg can do.
Yep.
They can really lift it up and lift it down.
Yep.
But where he struggles is in the stuff below what is his knee. And he just really doesn't want to bend that leg at all.
And that would make sense. If the female was to bite him, she's going to get the end of the leg, not up near the hip.
Yeah, exactly. Once I get to the tibia, which is the long leg bone, I can see there's a big deviation. It's really sunken in and twisted. So we know where the fracture is. What we don't know, though, is how we're going to fix it. That's about as small as bones get.
What are you going to do?
Well, I don't know. Even though it's a very small fracture, it'll cause big problems if we can't fix it. So now I have to come up with some way to fix a broken leg in a lizard. That won't be easy. We really need to get that bend back into it. We need to get some strength into it, but we need to keep the bones still enough that they actually do mend up.
And that'll ease his pain a bit as well if it's there?
Yeah. I'm racking my brain for ideas about how we fix this leg. Pins aren't going to work, wires aren't going to work, screws, impossible. All of a sudden, it comes to me. You feel like helping me out?
Oh, I'd love to help you out.
Yeah?
Yeah, what can I do?
But you've been working hard.
I've been working hard.
Okay. Why don't you go and have an ice cream?
Yep.
And come back once you finish the ice cream.
Okay, I can do that. See you in a minute.
You've got to realise there's an ulterior motive here. I need something from this ice cream. First of all, I need Tim to finish it.
Wasn't a very nice one.
Clean your mouth. Look at you.
I've still got some there.
Yeah. Good old Tim seemingly approaches ice creams like he approaches everything else in life. 100 miles an hour. There is chocolate all over his face. But Tim has left me the most important part of the ice cream, which is the stick. This stick, once it's cut down, will be a perfect splint for this lizard's broken leg.
You sure an ideas, man. You know, this is the good thing about Chris. I'm there thinking about a possible amputation, and he's got a simple solution that's going to work. Best case for the lizard.
All right, Timmy, so I'm going to need your help here. So the idea is going to be put this splint over the top, and where there's that bow in the leg, a tape should actually bring that and straighten that out. Everything here is painstakingly small and painstakingly delicate, but if you get it wrong, the consequences will be dramatic. Larry will just not tolerate a splint that doesn't fit and that rubs on his leg. So just getting it right is crucial. I'm pretty happy with how that's sitting there. Let's give it a test drive.
Okay, you want him down?
Yeah. Yeah, already supporting
look at
more
that.
weight on that.
That must feel really good for him. Instantly, literally instantly, he's up on his leg. What a solution.
So if you can leave this splint on for ideally 3 weeks,
yep,
I think we'll be laughing.
The good news is that Larry should make a full recovery, but there are no guarantees about his love life.
Larry has a lot of L's in his life. Lonely, loveless, unlucky in love. The one L he won't be having for quite a few weeks though is a lady. They're definitely off limits.
You play Booby. Where's the Spidey?
Where's the Spidey?
As for Spidey, the naughty cat which jumped from a 3rd-storey window, it seems he's finally learnt his lesson.
Spidey has been staying away from windows actually a fair bit lately. He's been hiding under a lot of furniture every time I open a window or open a door. So obviously he doesn't really want to have a repeat of last time.
Now can we get you running so we can show everyone how good your legs are?
Very lucky, definitely. Spidey might have lost one of his 9 lives, but he definitely pulled through and he's better than ever.
Wow. Chris's break on remote Christmas Island, northwest of Australia, is about to be cut short.
Hi, Chris speaking. All right, look, I'll get there as soon as I can. You guys are gonna have to wait.
Chris has been called away from witnessing the annual crab migration to help another one of Christmas Island's unique animals, the endangered seabird called the Abbott's Booby.
Even though the name is pretty comical, the plight of the Abbott's Booby is actually very serious. This is their only home on Christmas Island and there aren't too many of them left. So if one of them is in trouble, it makes sense that with no other vets on the island, they help it out.
Hi.
How are you? It's Tanya, right?
Chris, yeah. Tanya.
How are you?
Thanks for coming.
That's all right. Is that Bill I can hear in there?
That is Bill, yep. Sounds a little bit cranky this morning.
All right, well, let's have a look.
Yep. Cool, come on in.
Ranger Tanya Dito has been caring for Bill since the young female Booby was brought into the National Park headquarters unable to fly.
What's the story with these guys here?
Yep, most of these are little red-footed booby chicks. They're fledglings. We got them as little fluff balls. fell out of their trees, and we've just been raising them until they can fly away.
You as well? Yep, sure.
Yep. And this is Bill.
Wow. Hello, Bill. There's a very good reason why I would always jump at seeing an Abbott's Booby. There are only around about 10,000 of them left in the world. They're only ever found on or around Christmas Island.
So she came in with basically her right wing. The primary flight feathers just
not there.
Weren't there. We were hoping they'd grow out, but they never did. When we heard that Chris was coming over to Christmas Island, we thought it was a great opportunity to actually get Bill checked out properly and hopefully get some treatment for her.
So you've been, I guess, the reason she's still alive.
Yeah, so we've been feeding her and just looking after her.
Bill's incredibly lucky that someone actually found her at the time and then brought her to see Tanya, because Tanya now is her only lifeline.
She's obviously not happy here. She sees all the other birds fly off and gets a bit depressed.
Okay.
We're hoping you can help us do something for her.
I'll certainly try, because, you know, the mind's certainly willing, it's just the body's not really able at the moment,
she certainly thinks she can fly.
Yeah.
With the Abbott's Booby endangered, it's vital that birds like Bill be given every chance to return to the wild.
The fact that given certain circumstances the entire population could be wiped out, it means you have to be incredibly careful with each and every bird.
Shush, 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 shush. It's okay.
Hey, come on.
At the Bondi Referral Hospital SASH, Leslie has rushed in with little Patchy Girl.
They're going to look after you, aren't they?
Overnight, the Shih Tzu Cross was struggling to breathe.
Patchy has been my buddy for 7 years. She has done so much for me. She's been there all the time beside me. But now it's my turn.
Leslie has been through a crippling illness, and Patchy Girl holds a very special place in her heart.
Yeah. She's visited me in hospital on numerous occasions to keep me in good spirits. I can't let her go. She's too important and too special.
This must be Patchy Girl.
Yes, this is Patchy Girl.
I'm Lisa.
Hi.
Come through.
Hi, Lisa.
Leslie is so emotional, and she is so terrified at the prospect of losing her beloved dog. I just hope that she's got a condition that we can fix. What's happening?
Well, this morning at about 2:30, Patch started coughing and choking, and then it just got too severe that we thought, well, we've got to do something. I thought I was going to lose her.
And she looks like she's really wiped out, doesn't she? Hey, sweetheart.
She's definitely a mum's dog, and she barks if I'm not there.
She's been barking a lot?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah,
so she's been fed bones recently?
No.
And no chews or rawhide treats or anything that could have got stuck in there?
No.
Okay, we'll pop her up on the table.
Okay.
Okay. Hey, Patchy Girl, let's have a look at your breathing, sweetheart. I'm looking at Patchy Girl now and she's very relaxed, but I can't ignore what Leslie has described. An episode where Patchy Girl was struggling to breathe, had a severe episode of coughing. Something is definitely going on with this dog. And what you're describing to me sounds like she may have a problem with her airways, so a problem potentially with her windpipe. The only way that I can work out what's going on is to take an x-ray of her neck and of her chest. Leslie's love for Patchy Girl is so strong. It's like she's her child. I'm really feeling the pressure on this one. You come with me.
Very precious package.
I know. All right. I won't be too much longer.
Okay, thank you.
Bill, is this a love bite? It's too early for that, come on.
Very quickly get bad.
On remote Christmas Island, northwest of Australia, Bill is giving the visiting vet a very warm welcome.
If I smell fishy, then I've got some serious problems.
But it's Bill the Abbott's Booby that has the serious problem. The young rescue bird is missing critical flight feathers on her right wing.
The fact is, if a wild bird that relies on fishing to keep itself alive can't fly, then it can't survive. So your feeling is that when you first found her, she was fledging and was trying to fly for the first time?
We think so. We figured that she tried to fly, she couldn't with half a wing, and she made it onto the ground.
All right, it's probably time to have a good look at that wing and see what's happening. Got a nice curvature there, which is just like an aircraft wing and gives the lift, but we need the length of the wing.
Near the end.
We do, yeah, and that's where it all kind of goes wrong at the end here. The tip of the wing is probably the most important part because it's the anchor point for all the primary flight feathers that really give a bird like Bill a lot of their lift and keep them in the air for all that time. So we've got what looks to be a fair bit of scar tissue around here. We've got some bleeding here. There's a little bit of feather poking out there. That stump at the end of Bill's wing is clearly a problem area. It would be sore, it would be inflamed, and if it stays raw like this, it could be the site of quite a serious infection. So, the end of the wing, it is a mess. It's a bit of a war zone in here. I've got a suspicion I know what's happening with Bill's wing, but to know for sure, I'm gonna have to compare the problem wing with the normal one. See, we're almost going out to the fence there, and that's almost a metre from her body, whereas out this side, we'd be lucky to be a half there. And the extra length is what we're missing. To be honest, I think the biggest challenge we're facing is the fact that there's nothing about the end of this wing that's normal.
Oh, poor Bill.
All right, honey, you're okay. There you go.
At SASH, Lisa is x-raying Patchy Girl to try and find out the cause of the little dog's severe breathing problems.
All right, let's have a look. She's got a collapsing trachea. Yeah, her windpipe, you can see, is tiny. When a windpipe collapses, it causes a dog to cough. It also prevents them from cooling down properly and can cause a lot of inflammation in their airways. In the very worst of cases, they're not going to be able to breathe properly, and that can be fatal. Hey, sweetheart, let's get you set up in a bed, okay? A collapsing windpipe normally shows up in middle age to older dogs, and Patchy Girl is a relatively young dog. If she's this bad now, I doubt she'll live a long life. You're okay, darling.
Lisa now has the tough task of breaking the news to Patchy Girl's distraught owner, Leslie.
So, Patchy Girl's x-rays show me that she does have a condition called a collapsing trachea or a collapsing windpipe. Okay, so when Patchy Girl breathes, her windpipe is floppy and it snaps shut and it's not letting much air in. So what you were describing was a very acute episode of it that was probably brought on by maybe barking too much, and unfortunately because it's a degenerative condition, it will get worse over time. There are only two real options for Patchy Girl. Manage her medically, which is not guaranteed, or place a stent under anaesthetic that is going to keep her windpipe open and hopefully prevent this from ever happening again. So you're happy to go ahead with the procedure?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
Let's go through and see her.
Okay. She deserves this surgery because of what she's given to us in our lives. To save her life, it's the most important thing. Hello. Oh. Oh, you have been through so much today. Hey, you got a bit more to go. Okay. It's nothing worse to see a dog not being able to breathe. It's horrible. I know she's in good hands, but seeing her little face there it was difficult. Yeah, very difficult to say goodbye.
You can call us anytime.
All right.
Okay.
Bye,
Don't look back.
So if we can clean up the tip of this wing here for her and get it to the stage where it doesn't have any ingrown feathers, where there's no infection, where there's no irritation, we start to give her a really good chance of growing these feathers out. Now, I actually do need what's in there.
On Christmas Island, Bill isn't the only one vying for attention from the visiting vet.
How's this going to work? You can stand there and watch. Okay, and I'll get this. Thank you. We happy now? Good. Right.
Bill, the Abbott's Booby, can finally get some treatment for her badly deformed wing.
So what I might do first of all is just put a little bit of local anaesthetic into this stump.
I won't feel anything after this.
Chris can now clean away any broken and ingrown feathers.
See, this is really the problem. This one here,
broken inside.
It made a good start, but now you can see it's broken on the inside, so we should take that one out. Even though some blood is appearing, that is actually a good sign. It's showing the blood supply to the tip of this wing is healthy. All right. It's all right. So that should now be a healthy bed that the feathers can now grow through.
But there's still no guarantee Bill will ever be able to fly properly. So Chris wants to make sure the young, energetic seabird gets some much-needed rehabilitation.
Bill lives in the bird equivalent of paradise. Fresh air, sunshine, lots of water and lots of fish. So surely there's a form of exercise that she can do that's going to be perfect. So, kayak. Do we have these? Can we source them?
I actually have a kayak, yes.
It turns out Tanya has a kayak. Kayaks go in seawater, so do birds. I think she's already excited about it.
She looks pretty keen.
Hey, it's your big day. I know, honey. All right. Yeah, we're going to try and fix that windpipe of yours.
At Sash, Patchy Girl is being anaesthetised so the team can work out the best way to repair her collapsed windpipe.
Okay, good. How are you?
How's the patient?
And she's ready for you.
Good, good.
Medicine vet Dr. Justin Winpole needs to insert a camera into the 7-year-old's trachea to see if a stent can be inserted.
All right, let's do it.
This will hopefully open up Patchy Girl's chronically narrow airway and help the little dog to breathe.
A stent is a device that will keep Patchy Girl's windpipe open. Placing a stent is a very, very risky procedure.
So we're just going having a look down her trachea. So I'd really like her to give a nice strong cough so we can see how much this trachea does collapse under pressure.
The image clearly reveals Patchy Girl's narrowed and inflamed airway.
You see the trachea is narrowed. It's just not collapsing as badly as I would expect, considering how much difficulty breathing she was having.
Having a stent put in is a big thing to go through if we're not seeing any evidence of it now.
Yeah, so there is some collapse, it's just not that severe.
It's now a race against time to work out what's going on with the little Shih Tzu cross.
Leslie is really nervous about this. It's not an easy thing to go through with your beloved dog, so I just hope that we have some good news for her at the end of the day.
Look at you now, huh?
On Christmas Island, Bill's first rehabilitation session is underway.
She's never looked happier.
She does like it out here.
Chris wants to see Bill out on the water, getting some much-needed exercise while her feathers grow.
There we go.
And you're away. There you go. This is hydrotherapy of a different kind. Bill's feet are churning through the water. You can see her really busily working to keep up with the kayaks. And that is exactly what I had in mind. The head's going under, she's preening. That's more like it.
Surfing Booby. That's a happy Booby.
You go for it.
Shame. Safe. It makes me really happy. Like, it's great to see her actually out and enjoying her life instead of being stuck up in the enclosure. And hey, Mel. I think she's definitely got a brighter future now than she did, so it's really good to see.
Hopefully things are looking a bit better for you. Yeah? Catch a few fish, grow a few feathers. You can send me the bill. Abbott's boobies can live quite long lives, up to 40 years. And in her case now, if she gets her exercise, she gets her mental stimulation, then ultimately, there's no reason why she can't live a long life, but importantly also, a happy one.
Time to go home.
All right, Bill. Home time, importantly.
Dinner time.
Feed time. Go on, let's go.
What's up, Justin? Hello, Andrew. How are you going? So we've got this little dog, Patchy Girl, who had severe respiratory distress, and she's got some tracheal collapse, but it's not. It's there, but it's not as severe as her symptoms suggest. So I could see her larynx working, but I'd just like you to have a look.
At SASH, Lisa and Justin have now called in specialist surgeon Dr. Andrew Marchewski to look at Patchy Girl's voice box.
The actual larynx is working well and the voice box is not collapsed and nice and strong, but yeah, those factors I think might be causing a bit of a problem.
Andrew is examining Patchy Girl's voice box and has found that the lining of her voice box has popped out, which is definitely contributing to her coughing and breathing problems.
So we could probably do something about that now if you want.
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll go and get some tools.
Andrew is going to perform surgery on Patchy Girl's voice box to trim away the lining that has popped out, which will hopefully help her breathe better.
And I need you to hold her tongue right there. So what I'm going to do is I've got a very fine pair of scissors and I'm just going to cut away that tissue to get rid of the obstruction. And just drop her head a little bit, please. And point it that way a bit, please. Thanks. These pieces of tissue that I'm removing are not very big, but her airway is actually not very big either, so it doesn't take much to cause a big problem. So that's just one part of the lining that's popped out, so we've just cut that out of the way, and then we'll go and do the other side as well. All right, we can put the tube back now. That's definitely the procedure we needed to do with her. Her collapse just in her windpipe just wasn't bad enough for us to justify putting a stent in. But with that voice box being obstructed by those little flaps of the lining of the voice box, us getting them out of there will help her.
All right, little Patchy Girl. Hey, and hopefully you'll be all better for your mum.
Have you got reinforcements?
We might need them.
What's going on?
Oh, you'll have to wait and see. Hand him his equipment, Rodney.
Hey, mate.
You're going to need them.
We looking after an animal or maintenance?
You're doing a bit of grooming.
Hey, some grooming. Righto.
All right, we'll head up to the yards.
Yep.
All right, let's go.
After you.
Tim Faulkner is at the Hunter Valley Zoo about an hour from the Australian Reptile Park. He's been enlisted to help out good mate Jason with a mystery mission.
There's all kinds of different animals here, different species. Some are just beautiful, some really exotic, some a little bit big and nasty. I don't know what Jace is up to, but I know Jace well, and he's up to mischief.
He's in there. Have a squeeze.
He's going mad.
Yeah.
I peer through a little hole in the fence, and looking in I can see a beautiful and big male antelope. I've got a feeling that this task Jace has sprung on me involves catching him, but I've got no idea how.
I've got to trim up his hoofs. They're a little bit overgrown.
Fair enough. And how do we catch him?
Well, you grab the pointy end and we'll look after the rest.
It's a black buck antelope, and because of the soft soil here, it's much softer than where they're naturally found, so their hooves don't wear down so much. And when that happens, they can splinter, they can crack, they can become infected and be a big problem. So the goal today is to catch the antelope, restrain him and trim his hooves.
Okay, Rodney.
But catching this wily Indian native won't be easy.
They have super long horns, about 600 mil long. They can jump 2 metres up in the air. It's going to be quite a dangerous operation. Somehow I think we got the right house.
Chris is in Melbourne to try to sort out a problem with a very vocal cavoodle.
You Lola? Yeah? I'm told that Lola has some bad antisocial behaviour that needs addressing. I'm not so sure if this is it or if there's still more to come.
Hi Chris, come on in. She won't bite. There we go.
Hilarious.
I know, she's just got this little tiny...
Intimidating.
Owner Serena is desperate to find a cure for the 5-year-old's outrageous antics.
When people sit on our couch, she jumps up next to them and starts humping their arm.
I noticed that I've managed to get in through the gate, you know, thankfully with my life intact. There was no humping of legs.
She doesn't do the legs at all. It's just the arm when people are seated.
How long has she done this for?
She's 5 now, and probably since she was about 4 months old.
Okay, so it's always been a pretty big part of her.
It is.
Having my arm humped isn't anything I ever thought would be happening today, but if I am going to help out Lola and Serena, it is important I see Lola in action. I can't believe I'm willingly putting myself in the hot seat, quite literally, but she's going to be offended if she doesn't do it.
So will I.
Oh, she's getting nervous. I'm getting nervous too. It's a good sign, right? This is just a foreplay.
I think so. I think so.
I'm sitting down. Lola's doing a lot of talking, but as for getting amorous, nothing so far. She'd like it if I talk or just stay quiet?
Just, maybe just play with her a bit.
Hey.
She's growling, she's circling a bit. Lola wants his attention and she's just so loud.
All the pursuit of science, Lola, come on. I'm just going to sit back and just,
There we
go. Wow. Career high point.
Jeez, he's moving.
He's lively, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's going to be a handful to catch, isn't he?
At the Hunter Valley Zoo, Tim needs to catch this feisty black buck antelope. The animal's dangerously long hooves are in desperate need of a trim.
I'm a bit nervous. I would be.
Good to feel nervous.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, he's an impressive animal, isn't he?
He is.
Let's get into it. Okay, Tim, he's going to make his way around. Yep, grab him by the horns. Yep, grab him by the horns. Well done, mate, well done. Get a hold of the other one. Yep. Up against the wall, yep, let's go.
Jeez.
You're right, he's strong, isn't he? Yep.
That's better.
Yep. Okay. Yep, we'll get these feet up. Hang on tight.
Now we've got him restrained and Jace is on the back. He's up against the wall. Priority is keeping the antelope calm, safe and as stress-free as possible. We put a blindfold straight on. Thank you. That just allows him to settle. He can't see what's going on around him. Then we can get the job done quickly, painless and let him go. How's he look?
Yeah, just one side's a bit longer than the other. But we'll just shape that up and he'll be fine.
Rodney just knocks a bit off the end of each hoof and that just keeps them nice and level because if they're uneven, they can limp, one can grow more, can get out of control.
One toe's a bit long there. Righto, back's done.
The much-needed pedicure takes just a few minutes.
There we go. How's he look, mate?
Looks good, all done.
We've finished all the hoof trimming. Now we've got to get him released out of the yards in with the girls safely.
Ready?
Okay, mate, you ready?
Okay, I'm ready. 1, 2, 3.
All yours, mate.
Whoa.
Job well done.
Thanks, mate.
What'd you think of that?
Oh, I loved it. I was
good.
terrified.
Yeah.
Terrified. It's so unfamiliar for me, but, well, I felt like I caught him well.
You done well. Done
He's
extremely
healthy,
well.
happy, and he's out with the girls.
He's good to go. Everything's gone great today, all gone to plan. I really appreciate Tim's help today. It's made it so much easier. He looks like he's settled in, mate, doesn't he?
He looks good. Hey, well, thanks for asking me.
No worries, mate. Thanks for your help, mate. I'll walk you out, mate.
Yeah,
Let's go.
good on you.
paid enough for this.
In Melbourne, Chris is getting a full-on demonstration of Lola's disturbing behaviour with visitors.
I really don't get paid enough for this. This is certainly not the typical house visit. When I first arrived and met Lola, she was all talk and no action. Now she's no talk and all action. And what action? In many respects, it's fascinating to start with when you have a desexed female dog.
Yeah.
Not just desexed, but female. Humping.
Yeah.
Because humping isn't something we normally associate with females at all. A lot of people think that when they see a dog that's humping, then it automatically must be a sexual thing. Well, often it's not. So the crucial thing here is working out Lola's motivation. I just want to try something.
Okay.
I'm making a lot of eye contact at the moment and she's not doing it. But we'll just see what happens when I go over here and look over here and start talking to no one in particular. And
Here we go.
look what happens. I'm starting to wonder whether Lola's antics are actually her way of getting attention. So there's really two things we have to look at. The humping, sure, because Lola, I hate to say, it's a little antisocial, a little forward, and the barking,
Yes.
because that's not exactly pleasant when you're sitting at home trying to relax. Thank you.
We can clown around and say this is funny, it's cute and it's engaging, but in fact I think it's about a dog that's in distress, and as her owner, I don't want that for my pet.
Dogs are very different inside versus outside. We need to get the whole Lola picture.
All right.
Could we go for a bit of a walk?
Yeah, sure.
All right.
Yeah, let's do that.
The fact is, this behaviour does need to be controlled. So the whole idea now is to take her out of her territory and see what happens. Hopefully, that'll give me a clue about how I can fix it.
Hey Liz, come and check this out. Oh wow, you don't see that every day. Not at all.
A very peculiar looking creature has been handed into the Australian Reptile Park receptionist, Penny.
We should probably get Tim. I'll get Tim. Have a look, yeah. Penny to Tim.
Go ahead, Pen.
Hey Tim, we have something here for you that you'd probably like to see.
Sounds interesting. What is it?
It's a bit of an odd one. You'll probably have to check it out for yourself. You're gonna freak.
Righto, I'll be down in a minute.
This is something I've never seen before. Tim's definitely going to be excited to see this one.
What have we got?
Hey, I think we've got a blue tongue lizard.
Holy moly. You do have a blue tongue, but it's got two heads. Look at that. Fair to say, in a long time in zoos, we've never seen that, hey?
Never.
This lizard is a real anomaly. I mean, it must be a chance of 1 in a million in the wild that something like this is born, and for it to have been found alive, well, spectacular.
Do you think he's gonna grow?
If he's got 2 independent brains and he can swallow and his body's all right, then he might live. It's great that someone found him and recognised that he was different and has brought him to us. Things like this in the wild, well, if they're disadvantaged even a little bit, the wild is harsh, and I don't think he would have survived out there.
What are you gonna do?
Down to the vet, hey? We need an answer to know that he's not in pain or anything like that, and then we'll look after him. Looking at him, physically, he's okay, but I'm not a vet, and I guess I really need to know what's going on the inside. I'll take him down now. I'll let you know how I go when I get back.
Thanks, Tim.
Pete the vet, he's in for a surprise. I've taken him weird and wonderful things over the years, but never anything with 2 heads.
There's not a sound, is there?
No, she just really enjoys her walk. She just wanders along.
In Melbourne, Chris is trying an unusual approach in a bid to solve Lola's antisocial humping behaviour.
Butter wouldn't melt.
I know, she's like the perfect dog in public.
And this isn't what I expect from a dog that just put on such a show.
Yep.
And was so loud.
It's so incongruent, isn't it? It's really, the many shades of Lola.
The amazing thing is you take Lola out of the house where she feels like she has total control over everyone, and all of a sudden, we've got a different dog. There's no barking, and there's certainly no humping. With all sorts of behavioural problems that you see as a vet, I'd say the majority of them involve either dominance, territorial behaviour, attention seeking, pretty much those three. She's actually got all three of those.
She's the trifecta.
She is.
Yeah.
This double life that Lola's leading, where she's well behaved outdoors but poorly behaved indoors, it's not fooling me. Even though this has only been a short walk, it's given me enough time to come up with a solution that I'm pretty sure is going to end Lola's humping ways forever. I'm going to meet you back at your place with my solution.
Alrighty, thanks, Chris.
I'll see you soon.
Come on, pups.
Good afternoon, guys.
Hello, Tim.
I know I don't have an appointment, but do you have time for a special little friend of mine?
Tim has arrived at the Green Cross Vet Clinic, about 5 minutes from the Australian Reptile Park.
Have you ever seen anything like that?
He's hoping Dr. Peter Nosworthy can provide some more clues about this very unusual two-headed blue-tongue lizard.
I've never seen a lizard like this before, and I'm worried about how it's going to survive. I'm just going to have a look in his mouth for a moment.
One blue tongue?
Everything looks all right in there. All right, mate, let's have a look on the other side. Yeah, okay. Superficially, from what I can see, they both look normal.
Is it possible that both heads work and swallow and...
I'm sure it is, yeah. I mean, I don't see why it couldn't be. I'd like to take an X-ray of its spine to see that it has got, you know, something that runs from the back of one of its heads down to down through until the tail. X-rays. I would then like to pass a tube down both mouths to see which one goes down to the stomach or whether they both do, out of interest, and see which one we should be feeding, or can we feed both? Okay.
What do you got? One or two brains?
I think we have only got one brain, Tim.
One brain, two heads?
One brain, yeah. It's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing.
And the rest of the body looks healthy?
Normal.
Normal? Wow.
Normal, from two heads backwards, he's normal.
The X-rays are done, and Pete's happy. But what he wants to see now is what actually happens when he puts a tube down the throat. Do both mouths feed through to the stomach? Mouth open.
Mouth open.
Pete puts the tube down one side, and it feeds back to the belly. He then goes to the other head, and it does the same. Now that means both mouths are intact and working.
Okay.
So that's good.
He can swallow both sides. Both sides will run down into the abdomen.
It's a great result, but before Tim leaves, there's one more thing that needs to be addressed.
What are you going to call him?
How about Janus?
Janus?
Yeah, it was the Roman god of new beginnings. He had two faces.
Janus?
Janus, yeah.
Well, that's lovely. One lizard, one brain with two heads.
New
Janus.
start, Janus.
I love it. I'm going to take him home, try and get him feeding, get him strong, and hopefully he can live a normal life.
Hello. Yes, the game's up.
In Melbourne, Chris is about to dish out some tough love to Lola.
How Serena has put up with Lola's behaviour for all this time, I have absolutely no idea, but I'm quite sure she's really going to appreciate the solution that I've got in mind. Let me guess. Yep. Right back to where it all began. So, I've come up with something that is going to change the rules around here.
Okay.
It's high tech. Highly expensive.
Right.
It's going to blow your mind. You ready?
I'm totally ready. A leash.
A dog leash.
Right. We have one of those. Yes.
This one is now her inside leash.
Right.
The idea behind an inside leash is actually pretty simple. It gives Serena back her control and means she can correct Lola without touching her, without talking to her, without giving her any attention whatsoever. So, the moment the bad behaviour starts, get the end of the leash, haven't looked at her, haven't talked to her, and now get hold of her, and we walk her, whether she likes it or not, in here, and shut the door.
Right. So Chris puts her in the laundry. She's in there for 3 or 4 minutes. not a peep out of Lola, which is so unusual. Okay.
So we'll go back up here.
Okay.
I can't believe it. We have silence. Immediately, there's not a lot of interest.
I think Chris has nailed it, and it's down to me to help her with this.
So it's the start.
It is, it's a great start.
And let's hope that is all it needs.
Alrighty.
Okay.
Thanks, Chris.
Thanks, Serena.
Thank you.
My pleasure. I was expecting a result, but this is pretty much instantaneous. All of a sudden, Serena is now back in control, all thanks to a leash. A lot of people think leashes are just for outdoors, but indoors, they can be pretty effective too.
Hey, you want to say goodbye? No, I think she's over you. It was beautiful while it lasted.
It was special. I'll never forget you, Lola. Thank you.
See you, Chris.
See you later.
Bye-bye. Hey, come here. Say goodbye.
Well, that's his home, at least for the next little while, until he gets established and starts eating and gets bigger and stronger.
Tim is helping Janice, the blue-tongued lizard, to settle into his new home at the Australian Reptile Park.
I don't know if he's ever eaten since he was born, so I'm actually going to try and just force a little bit into him, and maybe that'll give him a taste for it, and tomorrow or in the days to come, it'll stimulate him to start feeding by himself. My little mate. I'm just going to gently pry open his mouth, just put a bit in, just get a little bit of food in there. That's it, good boy. He's eating it. He's licking it. That's fantastic, he knows what to do. Good boy. Let's try head number 2. Same again. That's a good fella. When I was down at the vet's, Pete said he's got a good response in the mouth. He sure does. He's swallowing that food from both heads. The last thing I'm going to do is actually try a little cricket. Okay, that's it, mouth's open. Cricket's in. Look at that. He's eating. Beautiful. In the wild, he wouldn't have survived. At least here, we can give him a chance. That'll be a good little home for you, mate. You got everything you need in there.
Pie. You're a good girl.
At Sash, it's been just 24 hours since Patchy Girl had surgery on her voice box.
You look so good, hey? Let's take a look at you.
The little Shih Tzu cross has made an amazing recovery.
I think it's home time for you. I do.
Devoted owner Leslie is desperate to see her precious girl.
It's incredible. I just can't wait to see her.
Let's go see Mum. Huh? Let's go.
I cried as soon as I got home knowing she wasn't there because I've never, ever, ever been away from Patchy Girl and she's never been away from me.
Look who's there.
Hello, 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 Patchy Girl. Oh, yes.
When Patchy Girl sees Leslie, she just nestles into her arms. She knows she's safe with Leslie and she is so happy to be finally going home.
You look just so much better. And you know that everyone's looked after you, haven't they?
It's a pleasure, Patchy.
Absolutely thrilled with the outcome. Really, really thrilled. It's a good girl. Oh, that's lovely.
Yeah. Look at the size of it. When I first see this sheep, all I see is a big round mound of wool with a little face on the front. So where did he come from?
Legend has it that he survived the 2009 bushfires that in Kilmore East, and he's just been roaming through the bush since then.
So he's escaped shearing for, what, at least 5 years?
Yeah, it's amazing that he's alive today.
It's extraordinary he can even walk around with that amount of wool on.
It is, and you can see he's having a little bit of trouble walking there.
I mean, the worry I have is that he could have any sort of problem lurking underneath that wool. I mean, fly strike, any sort of skin infection in there. So really, before we even think about shearing, we need to work out whether he can handle shearing. Let's have a look at him.
Okay, as you can see our friend down here. His name's Ben Hall, and he's certainly a bit of a bushranger.
This sheep is named after a famous Australian bushranger, Ben Hall, who evaded capture for years and years and actually lived in this local area. You okay if I grab him?
Yeah, you hop in there.
Ben Hall, the bushranger, was eventually captured and justice was delivered. Catching this Ben Hall could prove to be even more difficult.
Well, it's Ben 1, Chris 0.
Let me get you fixed.
5-month-old Tora has been brought into the Bondi Referral Hospital SASH after a freak accident.
She was on hubby's ute on his way to work an hour away from home in Newcastle, and she's snapped her collar and jumped out of the ute, and her leg's just virtually hanging off.
The terrified pup fled into the bush.
We used Facebook and we just plastered every sign and got everyone in the area to share it, and we weren't giving up on her.
After an agonising week, Tora was eventually found with shocking leg injuries.
Sarah, I'm Andrew.
How are you going?
Good. Who we got here?
Tora.
Hey, Tora. How are you? You had a rough time. That's no good. Andrew.
I'm Callie.
Callie, how are you? Hey, what's up? You've been falling off backs of things, trucks and things. That's no good, is it? Yeah. Come on in. Yowza. All right, let's have a look.
Specialist surgeon Dr. Andrew Marchevsky is hoping X-rays will tell him just how much damage Tora sustained in the fall.
So she's popped off the very top of her thigh bone in a hip joint.
Poor baby.
Looking at Tora's X-rays, I can see that she's got a fracture at the top of her hip. The hip's a ball and socket joint, and it's the ball that's actually got a crack in it and cracked off. These are really nasty fractures in people, and they're really painful, so she's going through hell, really. So really what we're going to need to do is just drive 3 relatively small, fine pins up there and get it all to attach.
Yep. Whatever she needs done, we'll do.
All right. So you want to come and see where she's going to be?
I don't even want to think about leaving her right now, and I know she's in the right hands, but leaving her is not, just not something I want to do. I don't want to leave her.
Tora's surgery is scheduled for later today.
I'm sorry, darling, I'm sorry.
But Andrew is already feeling the pressure.
The greatest fear I guess I have is this fracture might not come together. We might do this surgery and it might just fall apart in a couple of weeks' time. And that's a very real risk for her.
I just think 2 people, to be honest, aren't quite enough.
At Edgar's mission, Chris has met his match. He's trying to capture the infamous Ben Hall.
I don't like being beaten.
The wily fugitive sheep has spent 5 years on the run after fleeing devastating bushfires.
It's not that I couldn't catch him, it's just that I thought it would be easier and quicker
We didn't want Chris
to have you guys.
Ben is limping under the weight of his heavy fleece, and Chris is concerned the thick matted wool could be causing other health problems.
With 5 years of wool growth on top of Ben, there could be just about anything lurking underneath that fleece. From bacterial infections to parasite infestations, he could even be fly blown. Good job.
Putting the cuffs on now.
I know, it's like the law finally caught up with Ben Hall.
Chris, Pam and the boys now need to move their captive to the shed.
Yep. Let's go. So we'll walk him. Oh, he's bucking and everything.
But Ben's not going anywhere without a fight.
Okay, buddy.
Okay, Ben.
Let's just go with it then. Okay, on.
Ben Hall is an incredible miracle. He's a testament to the will to live.
It's amazing. He's now taking 3 of us for a walk.
Just like you and I would try and survive the best we could out in the wild, Ben Hall has done that and he's done it admirably, but his time was up.
I'm going to try the impossible here. he's got, you know, a foot of wool there.
And that must be pulling on his skin too, mustn't it, poor fellow? I couldn't believe when I put my hand in, it was the length of my arm, that much wool. That is an incredible amount of wool for a sheep to have when considering we shear them, it's about that much wool.
I'm trying to listen through a lot of wool, but I can just make out his heartbeat there. So, I mean, it's certainly elevated. Just everyday life for him is a stress at the moment. So let's shear him.
Okay, let's do it. Yeah.
Fiercely protective Pam can't relax. She's now worried about how Ben will cope with being shorn.
Look, the worst case scenario with these sheep is that they could suffer a heart attack because of the stress that they're under. We're lucky that we've got Chris on hand to monitor him throughout the procedure. I wouldn't have peace of mind if we didn't have that happening today.
How are you? You're Shearer. Hey, Tony, I'm Chris.
Nice to meet you, Chris.
You want a hand with that?
If you can grab my toolbox, that'd be good, thank you.
Yeah.
Shearer Tony Adams has now arrived to give runaway sheep Ben Hall his much-needed haircut.
Ever seen that much wool?
No. It was 4 or 5 years on him.
Yeah, that's what we think.
We are very, very fussy with anyone who is allowed near our animals, and we have the most wonderful shearer that we've found who's very gentle and compassionate with our sheep.
Should be right to tip him. Hello, mate. So you want to grab him all by yourself? Yep. Tony weighs about half of what I do, but seems to have about 3 times the skill when it comes to catching sheep, because he goes pretty close to nabbing Ben all by himself.
Usually, if you tilt the head one way, roll him his back end.
Yep.
Not a good look.
That's right. Pam?
Yep. It's quickly becoming obvious why Ben has been so hard to subdue.
He's a ram. He's all man. The first thing we notice the moment Ben goes onto his back, well, it's hard to ignore. He has enormous testicles. Wow, that's quite something. Most lambs have something called lamb marking, where they're castrated, they're given an ear tag, they're drenched, they get the full works. Obviously, Ben wasn't around for that day. He escaped with everything intact.
See that? Another month and that'll be fly struck.
Yeah.
All through here. You're lucky, mate.
He's always going to find this overwhelming. There's just no real other option. Shearing isn't just like a simple haircut. For a sheep, it's a full-on audio-visual experience. The stress of those sounds and being forced into a new position for that period of time, it can be enough to cause a heart attack, which can kill him.
Come on, little Tora. Time for sleep. Time for sleep.
At Sash, 4-month-old Tora urgently needs an operation to try to repair her badly fractured hip. But first, specialist surgeon Dr. Andrew Marchevsky needs to x-ray the staffy.
The big problem we've got with Tora is not only that she's got a fracture, but it's been sitting there for a week trying to heal, and it's probably trying to heal in the wrong spot. So I've got to get some x-rays so I know exactly what's going on. Good girl. You're all right.
Urgent one until tomorrow.
Oh, wow. I mean, these x-rays just show that she's got really nasty fracture and the bone ends are quite a long way away from each other. We're going to basically have to get that to fit back into that little part of the bone there. It's going to be tricky.
Tora is wheeled immediately into surgery.
Righto, let's go. What I've got to do with Tora's fracture is I've got to get the fragments in as close to perfect anatomical alignment as possible and then drive pins across between those two fragments to keep it in that spot so it can heal as best it can. God, that's a real mess.
But as soon as Andrew gets access to the broken bones, it's clear that this repair isn't going to be easy.
Can we just take a photo? Now you can see that the bone ends are already smoothed off and they're not how they should be, so we're not going to get a nice jigsaw fit, which is what I was really hoping for. But yeah, we'll do the best we can.
As the minutes tick by, the frustration is building.
Just not wanting to go in the right spot.
Andrew is struggling to pull Tora's tiny bones together.
Those bones are really, really fragile and brittle. And if we're not really careful, it's possible that we could shatter the fragments, and that would just be, that would be a disaster.
Let's just give him a quick little check halfway through now, mate. Just...
At Edgar's mission, Chris is closely monitoring Ben Hall to make sure the shock of a long overdue shearing doesn't lead to a heart attack.
For an animal like him, who's a prey animal, to be held and restrained and not being able to move, that's one step away from being eaten by a predator, so it's incredibly stressful for the animal.
Okay, he's coping. Yep. All right.
He's coping better than me, I'm very stressed.
I can tell. Do you want to put it on you as well?
Tony is struggling to remove 5 years' worth of heavy matted wool.
The biggest challenge that Tony's facing is the weight of that fleece is pulling on the skin. Each time it pulls the skin out, it means that those shears of Tony's all too easily nick the skin. It's the unfortunate byproduct of how much wool Ben's carrying. Wow, amazing job.
I hope you feel better, mate.
That's a great outcome. Oh, and he's having a wee. Great.
Probably never felt so easy, has it?
That's right, yeah. Wow.
Once Tony is finished, the pile of wool is bigger than Ben. And Ben's not a small sheep, so it's time to weigh it.
He was carrying that around.
It's decent.
No wonder he's fit.
Yeah. You got any scales, Pam? There you go. Almost 18 kilos. Not bad. Is that your biggest ever?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
He's definitely a fit boy.
With Ben's excess wool removed, Chris is anxious to investigate what's causing his nasty limp.
Gorgeous, strong. Come here, buddy boy.
Yeah, you can see he's not liking that.
Another suction back on, please.
At SASH, Specialist Surgeon Dr. Andrew Marchevsky is struggling to repair Tora's shattered hip.
We're having a little bit of difficulty getting the fragments of this fracture back into the right spot. I'm not particularly surprised. 5 days doesn't sound like a long time, but it's a long time for a young dog and a nasty fracture.
The 4-month-old Staffy was injured when she jumped from a moving vehicle, and realigning her bones is proving extremely difficult.
I'm getting a little frustrated with this because I'm trying to get it as perfect as I can, and that's a really important part of this surgery, but it's just not getting there. All the way in? Yep. Okay.
Finally, after an hour of incredibly painstaking work, Andrew has managed to realign the bones.
So we've got the fragments basically in the right spot. It's not perfect, but we're just not going to be able to get it there. So we're going to start driving some pins in and see if we can get the fragments to stay together nice and solidly.
Andrew will now use a fluoroscopy or lifetime X-ray to ensure the pins are inserted in the correct position.
Just go a little bit further on that, so you can just see that pin's going into that other fragment now. So you just need to push it a little bit further. Don't move. Yeah, pretty good. So I'm happy with that pin is, and the actual alignment of the fracture's pretty good. So now we've just got to get another couple of pins in there to make it nice and stable. Tricky. Let's hold that there. Let's see, Jack. All right, back you go. Right, that's the last one. Okay, we've got all 3 pins in. I'm really happy with the position, and we're now just closing up all the soft tissue, and we can start to wake her up. Okay, well that's finished. Let's have a feel. All right, that's good. We've done the best job that we possibly could, but it was still there a week, and we've still got some worries ahead of us because it'll be 2 or 3 weeks before we know if we've been successful. It's not over yet. We just have to wait.
You're coping well. Oh, it's okay. Settle down.
I mean, immediately he's actually quite hesitant about me grabbing this leg.
At Edgar's mission, Chris is trying to pinpoint the cause of Ben Hall's painful limp.
So he's got some arthritis in this elbow joint of his.
Right.
Now, that could be the result of an injury he's picked up, or it could be wear and tear. I'd say it's probably a little bit of both. With dogs and cats, what we say with arthritis is get them to lose weight. He just lost 18 kilos.
Yeah.
So he's going to immediately feel better on that leg
Yeah.
because he's not having to carry the weights around.
With the additional help of an anti-inflammatory, Ben's limp should soon be a thing of the past.
He's been through an enormous ordeal today, an enormous ordeal. But he's one tough sheep. He's probably the toughest sheep you'll ever meet, our Ben Hall.
It's going to look like a purple Dalmatian.
To finish, Chris is applying antiseptic spray to help heal Ben's skin and prescribing some extra special TLC.
So he's pretty close to being back on track now. His life's taken a dramatic change.
Yeah.
The one thing I'd recommend, though, is that he stays in here for the next couple of days.
Yeah.
It would be like, right now, for him, taking a kid from the deserts of Australia and all of a sudden he's gone to Antarctica.
Yeah, wow.
It seems ridiculous because it's quite mild right now.
Yeah.
But for him, that's just been a huge change. While being shorn does seem like the end of Ben Hall's criminal ways, I wouldn't be so sure. It's been a real team effort.
Yeah.
But I think our fugitive is going to be feeling fine. I mean, he's already...
He's ready to go.
Yeah. I'd be reinforcing the fences at Edgar's mission because this guy knows how to escape. He likes his freedom. He'll be looking for it again.
There you are. Hi, Tora. How are you? You had a big day yesterday, didn't you? You feeling all right?
Next day at Sash, little Tora is recovering from the surgery to repair her shattered hip.
Poor little Tora, she's been through so much. She's fallen out the back of a ute, she's broken hips, and then she's had to undergo a major surgery. With a poor little puppy that's been through that much, you're always a little bit worried how they're going to recover. Hey, you're so much happier. Can I have a bit of a feel? Good girl. Good girl. That does feel better, doesn't it, sweetie? Tora's really, really bright this morning. I think she was obviously in a whole heap of pain before, and now that we've fixed the fracture, it's just already feeling much better. And I'm really pleased with how she's going.
The staffy is in good spirits, but Andrew wants to keep the pup as quiet as possible to give the injury the best chance to heal.
Tora thinks that she's just about fixed now and wants to start running around like a normal 4-month-old puppy, but she's not fixed, and we've got to be really careful with her. Otherwise, she'll undo all that good work that we've done. All right, we'll see you a bit later. Oh.
I guess you could call this a house call to a place where, well, not everything is as it seems.
Chris is answering an unusual SOS from a film set in Melbourne.
And turn over. Rolling. And action.
A movie called Oddball is underway. It's about a colony of penguins which is saved and then protected by a Maremma guard dog. The call for help has come from concerned producer Richard Keddy, who's worried about one of the film's major stars.
We've had a few issues with the animals, in particular one of our dogs. We've got an understudy dog, Miko, who got really, really sick. We don't know, we think he's picked up a bug or something.
That way. Stay there. Yeah, good boy.
The welfare of the dog is everything to us. It's like welfare of our actors. He's one of our key actors. So if something happens to our dogs, our movie stops.
Richard, how are you?
Nice to see you.
Hey,
How
guys.
are you?
Good to see you too.
Do you
G'day.
wanna look?
Hey, how are you?
How are you?
All right.
Hey, Kai.
This isn't the dog you worry about. I mean,
No,
he looks
no,
fine.
No, not this one. It's his understudy.
Yeah?
Yeah, he's the one that's having a little bit of a problem at the moment.
Okay. All right, where is this dog you're worried about?
I've got him isolated from this one, so we can go and have a look if you like.
No worries.
Okay. All right. Okay, come on, let's go. Good boy.
It is a big concern for me because, you know, nobody wants to see an animal sick. But also, yeah, I'm very close to Miko. To see him sort of go down so quickly, it was a real concern.
Good boy. Just over the last few hours, Miko has had a lot of vomiting and a lot of diarrhea. It's come on quickly too. So he's normally pretty lively?
Yes. Yeah. Oh, yeah. At home, he just runs around like a loony. He loves playing. Yeah, no, he's very, very active at home.
So this is very quiet for him?
This is very quiet, yeah.
So something's obviously stirred him up pretty severely. And you can see, you know, whatever it is knocking the wind out of him. While it's not uncommon to see cases of vomiting and diarrhea, when they come on quickly like this, they are a cause for concern because this can be a sign of something a lot more serious, like pancreatitis, or even, in a big dog like Miko, a twisted stomach.
Australian Reptile Park General Manager Tim Faulkner is also answering an SOS.
I've had a call from a mate, Dan. He's about half an hour away from the reptile park up in the mountains, researching frogs. And he called me and said since it started raining a few nights ago, he's had some unexpected visitors. Exactly who those visitors are or what they are, he wouldn't tell me. I'm on my way up there now.
Tim is on his way to the Wattigan State Forest to meet up with evolutionary biologist Daniel O'Brien.
G'day, boys.
How you going, Tim?
Good, mate. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad.
Hey, g'day. Well, I'm intrigued. What's going on?
Oh, well, this rain, it's brought out some creepy crawlies, your time stuff.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
So you've been looking at your frogs?
Yep, last 4 months.
And some of my mates have turned up?
Yep, I don't want to touch them.
We talking 8 legs or no legs?
8 legs, mate.
Oh, yeah?
Yep.
All right, well, where's the site?
Just up here, mate.
Yeah?
Daniel has been studying the breeding habits of the red-backed toadlet for the past 4 months.
So the frogs up here are so unique that the way they breed is pretty unknown to most scientists. So I'm up here to really understanding how these frogs are able to manage to breed successfully in such unpredictable environments.
But in the last few days, some very dangerous intruders have been caught up in Daniel's traps.
First trap?
First trap. So...
Hey, what's going on? The first thing I notice is you're not putting your hand in there.
There's no way I'm putting my hands in these traps.
I thought we were just looking at frogs.
Yeah, frogs, plus a million other things.
Look at that.
Mate, this is why you're here.
We checked the first trap, and it all makes sense. Now I know why he's got me here. Funnel web spiders are coming out now it's rain, and they're getting into his pitfall traps. Not exactly what you want to find when you're researching a toadlet. So you're looking at certainly Australia and possibly the world's deadliest spider.
Jesus.
Hey?
So when that funnel web rears up, you can clearly see how big its fangs are and almost see the venom just dripping off the end of them. So there's no doubt in my mind that if one of those was to latch onto your finger, it'd pump you full of venom.
In the few hours before this all came on, where was he?
He was back at home.
Yeah.
Been out in the paddock for a run in the morning, came straight here. So yeah, it's a bit of a mystery as to why he suddenly got this bug of some sort.
Yeah.
Chris is on a movie set in Melbourne. He's trying to find out what has caused Miko, one of the film's major stars, to suddenly become ill.
While it's not uncommon to see cases of vomiting and diarrhea, they are a cause for concern. If I'm going to be any chance of working out exactly what's going on with Miko, he needs a full check right now. Let's just have a listen. I just want to have a bit of a listen up around his belly here and see what his digestive system's doing. By listening with the stethoscope, I'm actually trying to hear those little gut sounds. How often those sounds occur tells me how well Miko's gut is performing. Okay, so the first thing I can tell you here is that his intestines are contracting a little bit more quickly than we'd normally expect.
Okay.
While a normal dog should have a gut sound about every 3 seconds, Miko's gut is constantly churning. The sounds never seem to stop. We're just looking for any signs of pain that he might show as I Just squeeze him in the front part of his belly, around where his stomach and liver is. And he's just ducking his head a little bit there. And shying away when I do that. So given where he's a bit sensitive, which is in the middle part of his belly, that's around where most of his intestines are. So I feel like we can probably localise the issue to there at the moment. Okay, let's get a temperature from him as well. What that's going to tell us is if he's got a serious infection going on in that area, or whether it's just something internal that's upset his stomach, essentially.
Good boy.
So 38.3. So that's a normal temperature, which is good news.
Yeah.
Without any pain around his pancreas and with a normal temperature, we can rule out pancreatitis and any sort of serious infection. So what we're left with is essentially gastroenteritis. The most common cause of that is Miko eating something he shouldn't. If I had to put a bet on it, I'd say that when he was out in the paddock this morning having his walk, he's probably picked up some poo or a little bit of something that was dead.
Yeah.
Had a bit of a swallow of it, thought, geez, that tasted nice, but tasting it the second time wasn't so good. So his body hasn't liked it, and now it's trying to get rid of it. Miko's going to get 2 treatments from me. First of all, an injection to settle his stomach and stop that feeling of nausea. And then secondly, he's going to get some liquid, which goes through his digestive system, coats everything, and calms it all down.
There you go. Oh, look at that.
Jeez, the training's paid off.
Good boy. Now that Chris has checked him out thoroughly, he'll be ready to go in 24 hours, and that is a big relief.
Obviously, no water for a few more hours, and if he just rests, I think it'll be the best possible thing for him.
Fantastic.
All right.
Thank you very much,
Thanks,
Chris.
Lee.
All right.
No worries.
Catch
See
you
soon.
later. See you.
Cheers.
Come on, mate. Good boy. All right.
Look at that. Now I know why you're not putting your fingers in there.
There's no way.
Look at him. That's a male funnel web spider.
Tim is at the Wattigan State Forest, about 30 minutes from the Australian Reptile Park.
That is a big boy.
He's responding to a call for help from Daniel, a researching biologist who's been finding funnel web spiders in his frog traps.
It's understandable that Dan doesn't want to bump into funnel webs in his traps. They're Australia and arguably the world's deadliest spider. If he puts his hand in to grab out a toadlet and gets a nip from a funnel web, he's in real strife. If I can use one of your containers and some tongs, I might show you how to catch him safely without putting your fingers in there. I'll take whatever we catch today home, and please, if you get more, we want them.
Okay, you can keep them.
I'm really happy to see funnel webs here, and that's because the reptile park is the sole supplier of funnel web venom to make anti-venom. Anyone that gets bitten by a funnel web spider in Australia, their life is saved because of the spiders we milk at the reptile park. I find a honey pot like this, that's a good day. First, just put a little bit of moist earth. That's enough. And you should just be able to scoop him up without even flicking him.
Oh, yeah.
And then just keep your fingers away. Sometimes they get their legs on the outside. Put him down in there. One funnel web spider. You think we're going to get a few?
Oh, I reckon we can get a few after this rain.
Jeez, I hope so.
Every day I have to be out here sticking my hands in these buckets, possibly risking myself with these funnel web spiders. So if I can learn how to bottle these up and get them back to the reptile park, I'll probably save myself a bite or two.
Still rolling. Stand by. Action.
In Melbourne, Chris is on the set of Oddball, a movie about a Victorian penguin colony which is protected from foxes by a farmer and his Maremma guard dog.
Cut. Great.
He's just treated Miko, one of the film's major stars. But before he leaves, he wants to meet 6 other noisy little performers.
How you going?
Good. How are you going?
Yeah, all right. The small stars, huh?
Small stars, yeah.
The penguins have travelled from SeaWorld on the Gold Coast to work on the movie.
I'll try to get him over this way so you can hop over the fence. Come on, guys.
In all, there are 6 little penguins on this movie set, and they all have their own personalities, and all those personalities have to be managed by someone. And that someone is Katie.
As animal trainers, it's important to make sure that you watch how they look, how they're behaving, their mobility every morning.
They look like they enjoy their fish.
They love their pilchards.
I'm not saying they're fat, I'm just saying they look in good, healthy condition.
That's our goal. That's our goal. Have happy, healthy birds. Yeah, we're pleased. We're pleased with how they're doing, and I think it's been a challenge, and I think it's a nice learning curve for us to see how much they're capable of.
Not only do they look, they look shiny and they look like they're in great condition, but it's the level of activity and just how mentally aware they are.
Yeah.
They're very inquisitive and always looking around for the next adventure.
Exactly. That's how it appears to us too. They seem very happy and healthy and really relatively unstressed as far as I'm concerned. Yeah.
Sure, you can tell a lot about a penguin just by looking at the condition of them, and these guys are certainly looking well fed. They've got nice, thick plumage, and they're shiny, which is usually a good indication of health. But also, there's something else I look at. I just watch them and see how they behave. And at the moment, you can see they're really moving as a group. They're inquisitive and they're interested in their environment, which is always a good sign, because an active mind in penguins is a healthy mind.
They're having a good time. I think it's a bit of fun and diverse, and they're doing all right. They're doing all right, yeah.
And now these pint-sized stars are heading back to work.
Come on, guys, come on. Chip, come on, eat it. Come on.
It's not every day that you're called out to be the vet on a film set. For me now, it's a wrap.
Let it go out.
Cap, great. That was great.
What a wonderful spot.
Just up here, mate.
In the Wattigan State Forest, Tim is checking research traps for funnel web spiders.
Nobody home?
Nothing in that one.
Next one.
Continue on.
Heavy rains have lured the dangerous creepy crawlies into the pits, which are meant to catch redback toadlets.
Anyone home?
All right, we'll see what we get in this bucket.
We've got a frog and a spider.
Jeez.
We've got both in the same bucket. The first thing that comes to my mind is, have you ever seen a frog hurt from a spider?
Not once.
I think the funnel web venom, I know it's dangerous to humans and invertebrates. Maybe it doesn't affect the frog.
But in the same sense, those frogs have their own toxins that they secrete through their skin that makes them distasteful to predators, so...
An uneasy truce.
Yep, that's it.
I'll get the spider.
Let's get him out of there.
You get your frog. That's another spider for me. I'm a happy boy.
Rightio, now I feel comfortable to put my hand in there.
Yeah. Put that in there. What do you got there?
So this is a little male, it looks like. So these ones have a unique ventral marking, so we can tell who's who.
Look at that.
Amazing, isn't it?
The redback toadlet's just beautiful, and I've never seen one before. It's obvious where they get their name from. But contrasting to that is that Dan flips it over and the pattern on the belly is black and white. And it's like a fingerprint. They're all unique and individual, and that's how he identifies each toadlet.
So we'll process now. Do you want to be scribed?
Yeah, love to.
Sweet.
3.3 grams.
We'll just get a measurement, and that's 33 millimetres. All right, that's good. So we'll release this one.
Okay. So just a scratch here's fine?
Yep, that's good.
With the frog safely released, there's one last trap for Tim to check.
Last trap?
Oh, one more, see what we get.
Oh, I can already see somewhere.
There he is.
You got another spider. Come on, buddy. Spider number 3.
Done and dusted.
Well, mate, they're precious to me, fair income they are, and if you keep catching them now you know how, I'd come up here and pick them up day after day.
Well, I'm sure I can keep them coming.
Yeah, please. Very important for us.
No worries.
I'm happy. I've got 3 spiders. That's not bad for a morning's work. They'll come back with me now to the reptile park, and they'll become a part of our venom program. See you, mate.
See you, Tim.
Come on, buddy. He is vicious. He's not going to have any trouble milking. As soon as I touch a leg or he hit that surface, boom, he's up, fangs showing. That's exactly what we want.
Back at the park, Tim is about to take on one of the most dangerous jobs, milking a funnel web spider.
The Australian Reptile Park is the sole supplier of funnel web antivenom. We keep up to 300 funnel webs at any one time, and that's because it can take up to 1,000 milkings to make 1 ampule of antivenom.
Today's contributor to the venom bank is one of the lethal spiders Tim took from the Wattigan State Forest.
Our little mate here today is a male funnel web spider, and although he is much smaller than females, he's 5 times more toxic, which makes him 5 times more dangerous. This is how we extract the venom. So this is a glass cylinder, and this pipe leads to a small vacuum. So what we actually do is when the spider rears up, there we go, there's venom on the end of the fang. There we go, and I've got it. It's only a small amount, but it all adds up. In that is the venom of 1,000 spiders, and we're now sending that off to the Commonwealth Serum Laboratories to be made into antivenom. So now, Dan's Redback Toadlet research program is helping our life-saving antivenom program. I'm glad he called.
All right. Come on, Tora, come on. I need to get you on the table and have a look.
Next day at SASH, little survivor Tora is continuing to show improvement.
So Tora's looking really good after surgery. I've just got to check her again now, but I think she's just about right to go home. That feels good. That's very good, isn't it? It's nice and smooth when I'm moving it around. It's not crunching at all like it was before, and that tells me that it's all sitting together really nicely, so I'm pretty happy. All right, Tora, time to go home. Hey, you going to see your mum?
It's been an emotional ordeal for all of Tora's family. They can't wait to be reunited with the courageous pup.
I'm looking forward to having a home where I can just have her in my lap each day and give her all the cuddles she needs for a long time to come.
Where's your mum? That's the most important thing. Who dat? Who dat? Settle, pedal, settle. Don't run around too much.
She's so crazy.
Yeah, I know. She's a little happier than she was when she got here.
She's looking really good. She's looking like our puppy again, jumping all over the place. So it's, really good to see.
Everyone is thrilled with Tora's progress, but there's still a long recovery ahead.
It'll be a couple of months before I'll say to you, go off and she can do anything.
Yeah.
Because we've got to let the bone get much stronger, and it'll take a little while, again, just because of the type of fracture it is and her age. But, so far so good. So I'm as happy as I could be, really, considering what we had. She's done really well. Tora's a really lucky dog. Another couple of days and we wouldn't have been able to do anything for her. But now she's got a great chance of being able to lead a normal life, and that's just a fantastic ending for Tora and Sarah.
Thanks very much.
All right. That's a pleasure. Give me a call if you've got any worries. Yeah. Otherwise, I'll see you in about 10. Oh! Bye-bye, Charlie. It's obvious that the whole family is really thankful and grateful, but for me, the best thanks of all is that little handshake from Talia.
Thanks,
all right, cheers.
Thank you.
Pleasure. Bye-bye.
Bye.